Sports West, the heart of the fan.
The sun is shining here in Southern California as the Angels take on the Mariners in the fourth and final game of this weekend series, hoping to avoid the sweep. It's been some tough luck for the Halos as they look to get back in the win column. They're going to hand the ball to the rookie Chase Silseth, who's coming off 2 incredible starts. We got another Halo history lesson. Yeah, of course, talking about Shohei Ohtani. And Carlin Bay, she will talk with the Moose, Mike Moustakas, who's been red hot since joining the Angels at the end of June. That and much more happens right here, right now, in what we like to call Angels Live. Welcome inside the Big A, everybody. Ken French, Bobby V, and Tim Salmon. And first and foremost, I want to thank our crew. We had some umbrellas over us for the last 5 minutes. I mean, I don't think I've ever had that kind of treatment before. Pretty amazing on a very sunny afternoon. But you know what? I'm going to use an analogy that the Angels could use an umbrella because bad luck has been raining on this team, guys, over the last 3 games here against Seattle. Bobby V, you talked about the unexpected. Well, the unexpected has been working against the Angels, not for the Angels. They've been in every game. You can go back to the Atlanta series, the Toronto series, but woulda, coulda, shoulda doesn't work this time of year.
But again, those are good efforts. You know, we were going to talk with Mike Moustakas a little later, and you know, during the stretch here, he's been so good. They'd be building a statue out in front of. We're winning these games, but we're not winning these games, and the effort is still there, day in and day out. I like what I see. I'm just hoping it could come together today.
Well, you got to have faith that, you know, the process you're going through right now, you're putting in the right things. Like you're saying, you keep getting these opportunities. At some point, the worm's going to turn, so to speak. You got to have some of these things start going your way. I think that the silver lining and everything is the fact that you're getting these opportunities. You're right there. You're just as good as these other teams, and it's just not, the ball's not bouncing your way. It will bounce your way, but you got to go out there and create your own luck by continuing to do the right things. You know, trust the process, go through your routine, and try to keep your spirits up the best you can.
Bobby, like you said, well-played games for this Angels ball club. Clean games, as Phil Nevin likes to say. It's just been that one moment as we go back to Thursday. How about the unexpected? How about Carlos Estevez? 23 straight saves on 23 opportunities. He gives up a grand slam to a rookie on an 0-2 fastball. Second career home run for that gentleman as we move on to Friday night. And this one was Grichuk making a great opportunity here, trying to dive for that one. It turns into a double by J-Rod, and then Eugenio Suarez. That's his 10th straight game with an RBI. He comes through. That would be the way that one would finish. And then last night, Angels unfortunately couldn't close this one, and Bobby, it was about a bad bounce in this one.
Well, you saw 2 doubles in this highlight. One of them bounces over the wall, the other bounces off of the Angels fielder's glove, and they're both doubles, and they both played big parts in the game.
Yeah, again, I mean, you're talking about situations there where, I mean, one little play here and there, and then of course who was that, Renfroe striking out to end the game right there. I mean, you keep putting yourself in situations, it's eventually going to turn around for you. You can't control some of the smaller things that happen in the game that, you know, just can turn the tide of the game, but you keep finding yourself in these situations, keep plugging away, and it will turn.
I'll tell you what, it's going to be fun today. Got 2 rookies on the hill for each club. First for us is going to be Chase Silseth. He's been very good since coming up from AAA. He went down there to stretch out because he was in the bullpen, as you recall, earlier in the season when Griffin Canning, though, went down with an injury. Silseth has become a staple in this rotation. His last 2 starts, Bobby, including the one in Atlanta against the top team in the big leagues, where he came away with a W.
Yeah, a very talented young man who has a good arm and a great head, loves the competition, understands that he's here on the biggest stage because he has a lead role in the play, and he wants to make sure he gets a standing O. So far, I think he's getting one.
You know, the thing about Chase, I mean, he had to go down in the minor leagues to figure some things out. You see that happen with guys at this point in their careers. You know, they come up there, have a little bit of success. The league adjusts to you, and then all of a sudden you realize, oh, I got to make an adjustment. And part of that adjustment was going back to the minor leagues and figuring out how to throw his slider. That slider's been a huge pitch for him him since he's been back. In the last game against Atlanta, 11 of the 18 sliders are swing and miss. But the biggest thing for him, he's always had that dominant fastball split. But hey, when that fastball and split aren't throwing for strikes, he didn't have anything else to get back in the zone and get back into the count. That slider, the confidence he built down to the minor leagues, figuring that one out, has been able to get him back in accounts and really give him that extra pitch he needs at this level.
Yeah, and if there's one thing that has rang true during this streak of badness, it's been walks. Not a lot of them, but the crucial walks. Guys are getting on base and they're scoring. The one thing Chase has done since he's been back is thrown it over the plate and has been very aggressive, not walking people, striking them out.
Yeah, in 5 innings against Atlanta, he did not walk a batter. What does Phil Nevin have to say about his rookie right-hander? Here is the manager earlier today.
Just continuing his consistency. He's had 2 really good starts for us. He went down, worked on a lot of things, getting ahead of hitters. He's kind of simplified what his stuff is, and I think it's been very beneficial to him. So just continuing on what's given him a lot of success the last couple times out here.
And before Atlanta, it was New York on July 19th, Tim, and you were talking about that slider. 10 strikeouts, 6 of them via the slider. That was a career high for him.
Yeah, it is. I mean, that's a huge difference maker. We had him on last week on the pregame show. We talked a little bit about it. And again, it's the big leagues. These guys have everything on you. You got to figure it out, and you got to be able to make adjustments. And you cannot believe that when you get to the big leagues, you're a finished product. You got to come up here with a willingness to learn and add to your game. I always say, even to the last day I played this game, at the end of my career, I was always willing to learn something new. And so that's where you see some of these young players for the Angels. They got very good talent, and they'll show it at times, but we've also seen some of the bumps in the roads where it's actually been a necessary part of the plan, part of the process to grow and develop and learn and really have an open ear to maybe something somebody might give you along the way that makes you a better, more complete player.
Yeah, and the best thing you can do is have a filter, because you're hearing it from a lot of people, and you got to filter most of the stuff out, because the more you hear that you have to improve and you have to change, the less confidence you have in what you're doing. This kid right here has confidence in his ability and loves the competition, and I don't think he's being confused by going to the bullpen, learning to be a short man, going back, learning to be a starter, and developing a new pitch like Tim says.
On the other side of the ledger today is going to be Bryce Miller, another rookie. He is going to be out there for the Seattle Mariners, and this is a guy, Tim, hopefully the Angels can jump on him, because he has struggled mightily, to say the least, in his last 2 starts, giving up 6 earned runs in each of those starts, and the long ball has been prevalent too. He's given up 6 home runs in his last 11 innings.
Well, you talk about the dog days of August, and how does it affect a pitcher? I mean, when you're strong and healthy early in the year, you're dotting your pitches, hitting your location. He's got a great fastball. He's got phenomenal stuff. Let's just start there. When you got stuff, that's usually going to play. But what you've really seen him get stung with lately is just some fastball location, and that's very fixable. I'd take him any day. But the reality is that, you know what, even, guys with great stuff, they go through the dog days and they have their down days where they're not able to locate where they need to. All those hits you saw right there, fastballs out over the plate, those are all mistakes. Hitters are capitalizing on them. And, hopefully the Angels can maybe hit him at a point where his confidence is a little bit lower and his stuff isn't necessarily where he wants it to be, and they can take advantage of it.
Yeah, you want his stuff to be lower. You're right, Tim. That fastball up out of the zone is unhittable. You saw them all there. Down in the zone, they were getting hit hard. Lay off of the one up and make sure you center it when it's in the zone. And he is a very good pitcher, by the way.
16th career start for Bryce Miller here this afternoon at the Big A. Before we go to break, Renato Lopez, who's been so good since coming over in a trade with the White Sox, he was put on the bereavement list here this afternoon with a death in the family. Wish him and his family the very best. No corresponding move has made of yet. The Angels will play a man down in the bullpen. Hopefully they'll have an arm here tomorrow as we take our first time out here on Angels Live, coming at you from inside the Big A. When we do come back, though, it is another Halo history lesson with the one and only Mark Gubicza talking about the one and only unicorn, Shohei Ohtani.
I'ma do what? That's on me. But I'll keep it OG. No, you can't shine if you stay low key. That's on me, on me, on me. I'ma do what? That's on me. But I'll keep it OG. No, you can't shine if you stay low key. That's on me, on me, on me. Don't want that stuff, but that's on me. Build the house, I got the keys. They say you can't shine if you stay low key. That's on me, on me.
Watch games
games and coverage. All day, every day, your way. On MLB Network. Think baseball.
There's something that's been missing in the debate.
Think analysis.
He really looked like the perfect thing to add to this club last night.
Think advanced metrics.
The new rules are having an impact, and I'll bottom line it.
Think MLB Now, the show for the thinking fan. Only on MLB Network.
Sports is brought by your Southern California Lexus dealers. Experience amazing. Let's go with that amazing theme. Of course, talking about Shohei Ohtani, June 21st, Kansas City at the Big A. A night to remember for Ohtani and the fans. We take you back with Mark Hubazaw and another Halo history lesson.
Angel fans, do you remember Shohei Ohtani's 8 RBI game? Let's go back in time right now. This is Gooby's Halo history lesson. Well, listen up. It was June 21st, 2022. Shohei Ohtani was batting third as the DH. Halos versus the Kansas City Royals. Ohtani had 2 3-run home runs, a 423-footer in the 6th, and a tying 438-foot shot in the 9th. The game marked a new single-game record for RBIs for a Japanese-born player when Shohei Ohtani hit a sacrifice fly in the 11th inning. 2 other Japanese-born players had 7 RBIs in a game. Tadahito Eguchi with the White Sox in 2006 and Hideki Matsui for the Yankees in 2009, both with 7 RBIs. But that game solidified the stature of our Japanese superstar here in Anaheim.
He has done it! Wow, way back!
If you didn't know, now you know. That is Gooby's Halo history lesson.
Gooby, thank you very much. Of course, Shohei Ohtani, a subject in a lot of those Halo history lessons, and rightfully so. And you know what, guys? Before we go to break, Shohei Ohtani, he's been doing it all year, carrying this Angels club, and over the last couple games, he's had an opportunity to, he's been put in those positions. Unfortunately, he hasn't come through, but that's exactly, Tim, what the Angels want.
Well, it is. You're always putting the right guy in the right situation. Trust me, the greats like Shohei Ohtani have the unique ability to turn the light switch on in these pressure-packed moments. And he comes through more times than not. You've seen the last couple nights, equally good talent on the other side that have maybe got the best of them. But trust me, Shohei Ohtani is one of the best in this game when it comes to flipping the switch in those pressure moments.
And the reason he's having the opportunity late, because the other guys are all contributing. Yep. Yeah, this has been a good team effort, winning and losing, but I think the effort's been on the plus side. All
right, speaking of the plus side, we're going to take our time out here on the program, but Mike Moustakas, he has certainly been on the plus side ever since he joined the Halos back on June 26. He has been mashing, getting it done at the plate, in the field, and being a leader in the clubhouse. And after the break, we'll keep Carlin Bay.
Listen to live Blackout-free audio from every major league club.
And Aaron Judge with some thump.
Stream video of minor league games.
That's a go-ahead grand slam.
And watch the best baseball highlights and look-ins on MLB Big Inning. The all-new At Bat is your all-in-one live baseball subscription for only $3.99 per month.
There she goes, home run, Pete Alonso.
Subscribe to At Bat within the MLB app today.
I'ma do what? That's on me. I'm a young boy, but I'll keep it on you. No, you can't shine on me, stay low key. That's on me, on me, on me. I'ma do what? That's on me. I'm a young boy, but I'll keep it on you. No, you can't shine on me, stay low key. That's on me, on me, on me. Didn't want that stuff, but that's on me. Built the house, I got the keys. They say you can't shine on me, stay low key. That's on me, on me.
Watch games and coverage. All day, every day, your way. On MLB Network. This is Chris Bryant. This is Christopher Russo. And this is the High Heat Hot Seat. Chris Bryant plays hard so he doesn't end up here. High Heat with Christopher Russo. So, helping players play harder on MLB Network.
Brought to you by your Southern California Lexus dealers. Experience amazing. Good word to describe. Mike Moustakas is coming over to trade with the Rockies at the end of June. Right now, he's standing by with Carl and Babe.
Thanks, guys. Moose, since coming over to the Angels, you've had some great consistency at the plate. What's your secret? What have you been working on? How do you keep it so consistent?
Yeah, it's been a process over the last couple of years to get back to this point. Struggled the last couple of years, but finally feel good at the plate. Me and Marcus put together a good plan every day before the game, and just making sure I'm in a good spot to hit. And then after that, I got a good idea of where the strike zone's at, and as soon as I get myself and my body in a good spot, I feel like I can be consistent in the box and get good pitches to hit.
Well, I was talking to Mickey Moniak, who's pretty close to you in the clubhouse with where your stalls are placed, and I said, is there anything about Moose that we don't know? And he goes, I think everybody does know this, but he loves to win. Where does that kind of come from? Is that just the competitor inside of you? How do you kind of spread that energy in the clubhouse?
Yeah, I think it comes from when I was a kid. My dad and my mom kind of instilled that in me. It doesn't matter if you go 0 for 4 or 4 for 4. At the end of the day, all that matters is if you win or not, and that's what people remember. So, coming up as a kid, playing, travel ball, little league, whatever sport I was playing, basketball, football, winning was always at the forefront of everything that, I tried to do. And, we get paid out here to win baseball games, and try to go in the clubhouse and explain to these guys that once you get to the postseason, you'll understand it. Like you don't get it until you're spraying champagne on all your boys, and you have that feeling of your eyes burning because of the champagne. So once you get to that point, you'll understand that that's all you want to do is get back there. And at the end of the day, we're here to win a World Series. So how do we get there? It's one step at a time, one day at a time. And it's been a process. Obviously 162 games is long, but we got to go out there and find ways to win each and every night.
Well, you mentioned World Series, and Phil Nevin knows that your World Series experience is so valuable in that clubhouse. What's one key for you guys as a team as you approach the playoffs?
Taking what's in front of us right now. We can't remember what happened yesterday. We can't look till tomorrow. We have to figure out what's going on today and figure out how to win a game tonight. It's in the sport, obviously you play every single day. It's hard. You can go 0 for 4, you can go 0 for 10, you can lose 3, 4, 5 in a row, but none of that matters. What matters is what's on the table today, and that's trying to beat this team and find a way to win at all costs. And it's obviously it's a challenge. You got the best of the best every single day, but that's why we're out here. It's fun, and it's even more fun when you win.
Thanks for doing this. That's a great mentality to have.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Guys, back to you.
Mike Moustakas.
Just walked by.
You just walked by. Obviously he's a great leader in the clubhouse. We know that. Tim, though, I want to dive in a little more about getting your body in the right place. I heard him say that at this point in his career, he's not used to playing every single day, and he's out there pretty much every day. He's got to work extra hard.
Well, he does. I mean, when you're older, your body's cranky, and you're always dealing with something.
Not to say that you know that.
Yeah, I know that all too well. But you know what? I take away from that. I love to hear him talking about winning. I mean, that's what it takes. This is a very individual game. It is. I mean, it's a game built on individual performances, and it's very easy for players to get focused on their own performances and lose sight of the big picture. At the end of the day, you want to feel good about what you're doing, but it's got to be about the team winning. And to have more guys in the clubhouse that are more focused on winning, regardless of what they do, they're 0 for 4, 4 for 4, their focus is on winning. That's where you have those unique situations where it all comes together, and they call it good chemistry, whatever you want to call it. But hey, everybody's towing the rope on the same side with the same
staying focused.
Yeah, by doing their best. That's how you win. You get a bunch of ball players together. Remember, Whitey Herzog told me that 100 years ago when I was playing for the Angels. And he says, you know, you keep your good players healthy and everyone goes out and tries to do their best. That's how you win. I believe that's it.
It's one thing to get hits, but it's another thing to get hits when it matters. 6 home runs as a Halo thus far. 5 have tied the game or given the Angels the lead. Moose has been absolutely clutch. All right, let's transition. We've heard of Hot in Cleveland, right? You kind of heard of that show a long time ago. Remember?
Hot
Betty
in
White,
Cleveland.
maybe?
It was rocking and rolling.
Things got hotter in Cleveland yesterday. Yeah, tempers were flaring last night. This is Jose Ramirez, the all-star, with a shot down the line, and he's going to come around first and go head first into second base. Tim, he didn't like the attack from Tim Anderson.
Yeah, there was something he took exception from right there, and I don't know what it was, maybe hanging over him a little bit too long, but yeah, I think that finger point in the face, that got Tim Anderson all riled up. And look at this setup right here. UFC on
Boom.
Saturday night, and one of them went down. What is it, the Jake Paul fight last night? This was the fight leading up to it, but great. I mean, you don't see good brawls where there's a lot of good swings taken. This is one of the better ones, and unfortunately for Tim Anderson, I think he might have just displaced Robin Ventura and the great Ryan fight, you know, as far as the White Sox lore goes.
Yeah, and then the managers got into it. Bobby V, you know how this works.
It's your fault. No, it's your fault. Why can't you control your players? Oh, you control your players. What do you think we're doing out here? Someone's going to get hurt. Oh, I can hear all that nonsense. Yeah. Well, you have to say that before this stuff happens, because once it happens, you have to let it run its course. And the way this ran its course is Vaughn picking up Anderson and carrying him off the field. Yeah, take his legs away. He doesn't have anything to go with.
Yeah, all of a sudden, Tim wants to get back out there. Coach Francona getting his piece in. And Tim, does this remind, I mean, we haven't seen, as you mentioned, we haven't seen a brawl like this in the big leagues in a long time.
Yeah, I mean, I think the latest one I remember is like Jose Batista and Rougned Odor.
Yeah,
that was
that's
a pretty
good call.
Good one right there. The Angels had the big one here last year.
Sure.
But that was more of a scruff. I mean, everybody, there's just bodies going everywhere. Typically, that's what you see. And, you know, I always found safe haven at the bottom of the pile. But, you know, you're on the outside, you know, that's where you get picked off. And I would have been really curious if Tim Anderson had the freedom to, you know, run back in there. What would he have done? At that point, everybody's on the field. Somebody's going to knock you out.
Yeah, he probably was saying, hold me back, hold me back.
You know what I really loved about it is that the umpire was going to get between the two guys, and then he came to his senses and got the heck out of there.
Yeah, you see punches thrown, but rarely do you see them landed as cleanly as we did, and certainly that'll be a highlight, unfortunately, for Tim Anderson that we'll be watching for some time to come as we take another time out here on the program. When we do come back, though, we're going to show you where Shohei is hitting here tonight. It's the lineups this afternoon in the fourth and final game of this series.
So yeah, USAA, they always have my back. USAA?
Hey kids, join MLB Network and your favorite players for a show made just for you. Play ball. It's all the big moments, bat flips, and amazing plays from an exciting week of baseball and tips to up your game on MLB Network.
Imagine an entire channel dedicated to taking you to the most exciting moments in baseball as they happen.
And it's gone!
With live look-ins to clutch at-bats.
A walk-off slam!
And players on the edge of making history.
This could be it! 62!
It's the best seat in the house at every ballpark. All commercial-free.
Can you believe it?
MLB Network Strike Zone. Wednesdays and Fridays, all season long.
Tomorrow, because all season long, the day after the Angels win at home, fans can redeem free medium fries with a $1 minimum purchase at participating SoCal McDonald's. Download and register on the McDonald's app. You need to make these kids happy. For the last several days, they have not been able to get their fries. Let's take a look at the standings. This is how the AL wild card looks heading into this one. Seattle looking for their first 5-game winning streak of the season. Angels looking to snap a 5-game skid as they are 6 games back right now. The Blue Jays for that 3rd and final spot. And the Halos, by the way, one of only 4 teams who have not got a W since August the 1st. As we take a look at the lineup here, Luis Rengifo, boy, he's been doing a great job, Tim, leading it off. And they're moving him all over the diamond, and he's getting the job done.
Yeah, I've always been a big fan of Luis Rengifo. I mean, and the fact that this has kind of been the guy that's always on the outskirts when guys get healthy. But what does he do? He's just ready to play. He's ready to do whatever you ask him to do. And I tell you, outside of Ohtani, I mean, tell me a guy that's had as many, or it's just as many clutch hits as Renifo's had to this point in the year. This guy comes up big in some of the biggest moments as well.
316 his last 14 games, including 9 extra base hits for Luis Rengifo as we transition to the Mariners lineup. Got to find a way to get J-Rod out, Bobby V.
Yeah, pitch him in and pitch him hard, and I know Chase knows to do that. You know, when we get him out, the ball is about 2 balls closer to his body than that. If you leave off-speed stuff out over the plate, he's as dangerous as anyone in the game. You've got to bust him and bust him continually.
Yeah, you got long arms up there at the plate. You got to make sure you keep them from getting extension. He loves it out over the plate. Everything about his swing, he's looking to dive out over the plate to get his extension. If you can crowd him, even if you're going to throw the off-speed, throw it inside. Get those hands from getting the extension, and let's see what kind of luck we have tonight with him.
Last night, 3 for 4, 2 doubles. He sits safely in 13 of 14 with 14 runs and 12 RBI. By the way, J.P. Crawford at the top of the lineup. He's walked in 10 straight games. That's what your leadoff hitter needs to do, and they've been getting the job done. Hopefully the Halos can find a way to get the job done, as this is the 4th and final game of this 4-game series, as the Angels are looking up at the Mariners in the AL West and the AL wild card chase. Silseth on the hill to get the job done. Angels baseball coming at you next.
So your total is 250.
What makes baseball even better? Shohei, more action? How about more steals, Acuna? More hits? Nestor? Okay, Mookie, more hits? What if the games are just quicker?
Just a bit outside.
The game has changed, and fans are saying, oh, yeah.
This is Bo Bichette. This is Christopher Russo. And this is the High Heat Hot Seat. Bo Bichette plays hard, so he doesn't end up here. High Heat with Christopher Russo, helping players play harder on MLB Network. Keep up with every team on MLB Network wherever you go. Just download the MLB app, click MLB Network, and sign in with your TV provider info. Then watch MLB Network all day, every day, your way. Imagine an entire channel dedicated to taking you to the most exciting moments in baseball as they happen.
And it's gone!
With live look-ins to clutch at-bats.
A walk-off slam!
And players on the edge of making history.
This could be it! 62!
It's the best seat in the house at every ballpark. All commercial-free.
Can you believe it?
MLB Network Strike Zone. Wednesdays and Fridays, all season long.
of your team. The heart of LA, Valley Sports West. The heart of the fan.
A beautiful Sunday afternoon in Southern California. Today, the finale of this 4-game series brought to you by Indeed. Meet us at the Big Hats at the Big A for the Los Angeles Angels and the Seattle Mariners today. Alongside Mark Gubas, I'm Wayne Randazzo, and Gooby, the Angels could use a win. They've got one of their better starting pitchers of late on the mound to try to get it, Chase Silseth.
Yeah, Wayne, you just got to get a well-pitched game. You got to get some timely hits in there. The defense going to be there, but Chase has been throwing the ball very, very well of late, especially when you think about the last two opponents he's been going up against, the Yankees and then the Braves.
Yeah, Silseth was outstanding in those last two starts. Took down 10 Yankees as far as strikeouts, and then held down that Atlanta offense.
Yeah, 10 2/3, 14 strikeouts, only 2 walks and 7 hits during that stretch. And talking to a lot of Braves hitters, and even their hitting coach said they were very, very impressed with his fastball velocity, but most importantly, his slider has been dynamic. It's an 080 batting average against that slider this season. He gets a lot of swing and misses with it. He'll need that today against Seattle.
It was last time that he pitched here at Angel Stadium that Silseth had those 10 strikeouts against the Yankees. Phil Nevin trying to pump everybody up.
Love it.
The City Connect uniforms here today as the Angels try to snap this losing streak and salvage one against Seattle in this 4-game set. We'll have the series finale for you in just a moment from the Big A.
Imagine an entire channel dedicated to taking you to the most exciting moments in baseball as they happen.
Let's go!
With live look-ins to clutch at-bats.
A walk-off flare!
And players on the edge of making history.
This could be it! 62!
It's the best seat in the house at every ballpark. All commercial-free.
Can you believe it?
MLB Network Strike Zone. Wednesdays and Fridays, all season long. This is Mookie Betts. This is Christopher Russo. And this is the High Heat Hot Seat. Mookie Betts plays hard, so he doesn't end up here. High Heat with Christopher Russo, helping players play harder on MLB Network.
What makes baseball even better? Shohei, more action? How about more steals, Acuna? More hits? Nestor? Okay, Mookie, more hits? What if the games are just quicker?
Just a bit outside.
The game has changed, and fans are saying, oh, yeah.
It's brought to you by Hyundai. Get away with a great deal only at the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Visit buyhyundai.com today. By the OC Healthcare Agency. Build your healthiest self at angels.ocnavigator.org. And by your local Southern California Cadillac dealers. Riding the waves of the City Connect uniforms on this Sunday afternoon, Chase Silseth will try to build on what he's been doing over his last couple of outings.
Yeah, he's throwing the ball very, very well. He's attacked the strike zone. His slider has been good. I love the velocity on that slider to have that better downward tilt on there. It's still good velocity on his fastball and splitter. My go-tos for Chase Silseth to continue and build on those last two performances. Power that fastball up and down in the zone. He's got 95 to 97 and swing and misses throughout the game. Honestly, I mentioned 080 batting average with 8 strikeouts, a whiff percentage of just under 36% with his slider.
Mariners lineup, they've been scoring runs more often lately, and that's been led by Julio Rodriguez striking the ball well. He had 3 hits, a couple of RBIs, and a run scored yesterday. Cal Raleigh doing the catching today, and Cade Marlowe certainly had a big swing in this series in left field for the Mariners. Former Angel Mike Ford in there as well for Seattle today.
And the Easton defense for the Halos today in this warm afternoon where the baseball will carry. Mickey Moniak has been outstanding in the outfield, whether in center field where he's at today with 1 outfield assist or playing the other corner outfield position. Gritchick and Renfroe are out there with him. Escobar getting the start at third base today. Rengifo, Drury, Moustakas at first, and Matt Theis behind the plate.
Day off for C.J. Cron to get Escobar in there at third base with Moustakas going to play first. And here's J.P. Crawford to start the game. Crawford walked to start yesterday's game, and he's drawn at least 1 walk in 10 consecutive games. A Mariners record-tying number for Crawford. So Chase Silseth will have to be in the strike zone to keep Crawford from getting on base. He has a .510 on base percentage in that 10-game stretch as the home plate umpire waits for everybody to get settled here at Angel Stadium. Junior Valentine calling the balls and strikes on a very picturesque blue sky day here in Southern California. And the first pitch, J.P. Crawford gives it a ride. That is deep to right center, and that is gone. 1 pitch, 1 swing, 1 homer, and 1-0 Seattle.
Oh, right away, he doesn't swing at the first pitch a lot, but when he does, he's had pretty good success with it. He's had a huge series in this game. I mean, in this series against the Angels, again, another home run. J.B. Crawford, just like that. Another home run in this series, 136 now on the season for Seattle. That's his 4th home run when he's put the first pitch in play this season.
First pitch swinging, Julio Rodriguez hits a bouncing ball. Escobar has to hurry and gets it to first to retire Rodriguez. So the first 2 Mariners swinging at the first pitch. Crawford with a home run, and now Rodriguez grounds out.
The baseball will carry in this warm afternoon here today at the Big A. That fan made a pretty good play on that home run ball. J.B. Crawford out to right center field. That's the first pitch of the game that's jumping on that.
First time that a Mariner lets a first pitch go, as there's the fan reaching over the LED board in right center to snag that home run from Crawford. The Mariners trying to sweep a series of 4 games here at Angel Stadium for the first time since 2005. A Halo team that eventually made its way to the American League Championship Series that year. Ground ball down the line, foul from Eugenio Suarez.
Suarez's streak of RBIs consecutive games was broken last night, although Seattle found a way to win that game even without his production at the plate. Pretty solid defensively though last night for Seattle.
Swing and a miss by Suarez, and Silseth responds with a strikeout. That's the first one today for Chase Silseth, and there's 2 down here in the first. Silseth has been bounced around between the bullpen and AAA and the starting rotation. This is his 4th start at the major league level this year, but he really wants to be here in a starting role. One has recently opened up for him with Griffin Canning on the IL.
Talked to Griffin Canning today. He's starting to feel real good. We'll probably see him back there pretty quick.
Angels also had to put Ronaldo Lopez on the bereavement list today as he experienced a loss in his family, so he won't be available for the next few days as he returns to the Dominican Republic to tend to that. Angels were not able to get anybody here today. They just found out pretty much right before the game. Cal Raleigh at the plate. Silseth drops in that curveball to make it 1 ball, 1 strike.
That's now 5 hits in this series for Crawford to go along with all the walks he has had so far.
Well, he has really turned into an improved offensive player. In OPS last year, barely above 600. He's around 800 this year. There's a long fly ball from Cal Raleigh. Back for it is Renfroe, and he makes a leaping catch right in front of the wall. And he dropped it there at the last moment. So the ball did not stay in his glove. And Raleigh ends up at second base. Raleigh stopped as he rounded first, thinking that ball was caught. But Renfroe did not hang on to it as he came down.
He's right back at the wall, and he's just in front of the wall and unable to keep that as he goes into anticipating running into the wall. Didn't close that glove, got on the heel of the glove.
He thought he had it. He looked in the glove, and he was surprised that the ball wasn't in there. So Hunter Renfroe unable to hold that baseball. Now Raleigh on second base with Dominic Canzone fouling off the first pitch that he sees.
And the way Seattle has pitched both at the starters and in the bullpen, this is already a big at bat here for Silseth.
Bouncer in front of home plate, should be an easy out as Nice swings it to first. And that does end the inning. Leadoff homer from J.P. Crawford. A quick lead for Seattle.
Create amazing work with Fiverr. All you need is your team and a talented freelancer who will lend a hand and seamlessly join your team from just about anywhere. Expand your team with a Fiverr freelancer.
With the Game Time app, I paid 60% less than this guy. What? And it's not just sports tickets. It's also concerts. Performances, too.
Oh, come on!
Download Game Time. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed.
Welcome to the Aura Sleep Lab. You need a bit more deep sleep. Getting enough high-quality sleep increases immunity. Why? Because sleep helps fend off sickness. A good night's sleep boosts your number of infection-fighting antibodies and cells. And with your Aura Ring, you can learn how to sleep deep and keep your immunity up. It's like having a sleep lab on your finger. Go to sleep with auraring.com.
They said optical shops weren't very inviting. So we, Warby Parker, created ones that were. They said prescription eyewear was too expensive, so we offered more affordable glasses, contacts, and eye exams. They said opticians weren't always friendly. So we hired only the friendliest and the most knowledgeable. And finally, they said the whole experience was just kind of unpleasant. So we set out to change that too. Visit a Warby Parker store and see for yourself.
40 home runs leads the major leagues. He's the number 2 batter for the Angels today. Brandon Drury, who almost had the game tying hit, looked like he did when that ball left his bat in the bottom of the 9th yesterday. An RBI double would have easily been a 2-run extra base hit to tie it had that ball not bounced over the wall in left field. An automatic double. A horrific break for the Angels late in that game yesterday. And now they'll go after Bryce Miller, who has struggled lately.
Yeah, and he still has a pretty good fastball. He throws a lot of them too. He's 93, 98. He'll throw a slider, a sweeper, changeup, and occasional curveball.
First time the Angels are seeing Bryce Miller, who got to the big leagues at the beginning of this season and had a historic start to his career. Luis Rengifo fouls off the first pitch he sees.
One of my go-tos to have success against Miller this afternoon is you got to hit those fastballs in the air, especially that carry here today. 10 home runs versus his fastball, and his success at that second and third time through the lineup. First time through is pretty solid. Their second and third, a increase from 240 to 291.
Miller took a perfect game into the 6th inning of his major league debut. Was the first pitcher to do that since 1961. Also the 3rd pitcher to strike out 10 batters without a walk in his major league debut. Johnny Cueto and Steven Strasburg were the others. Strasburg struck out 14 in his major league debut. It hasn't gone as great for Miller lately. He's given up 6 home runs in his last 2 starts, giving up 6 runs in each of those games.
Left-handed batter's been swinging the bat well against him. He's given up 8 home runs versus lefties.
He's ahead of Rengifo, a left-handed batter. No balls, 2 strikes. It's 1-2 now as Miller wastes the fastball. Angels have hit 8 leadoff home runs this year. That's the 2nd most in the major leagues. Trying to answer the blow from Crawford on a leadoff shot in the top of the 1st. That's in there, strike 3 call. Junior Valentine susceptible to Raleigh framing that one and yanking it back over the outside corner.
Early on, that is at least a baseball and a half off the corner and high. Wow.
Rengifo knew that was not a great call. Here's Shohei with 1 away in the bottom of the 1st.
Shohei's been seen of late when he's in the strike zone. They're trying to run that fastball upstairs and then a hard slider down and in.
Smacks that one to right center field. Nice hit for Ohtani.
Incredible swing, and the baseball just explodes off his bat. 106 miles per hour exit velocity for Shohei. Stays on that one real well. Not a lot of wasted energy in that lower half of his body, and that barrel out, catches it out in front, line drive.
That ball was really blistered by Shohei, so he's on. Don't forget a stolen base threat. He's the Angels' leader in stolen bases with 14 on the year. Here's Brandon Drury, who had that big base hit in the 9th inning yesterday. Lines this ball to left field, has a base hit in the 1st inning today.
Well, he has really stayed on the baseball well since missing that time on the IL. Made some solid plays defensively, but his timing has been good, which sometimes is difficult to have that timing. He had a couple decent swings down in his rehab assignment, but not a lot of at-bats, but he's hitting the ball hard right now.
A couple of base runners for Mike Moustakas here in the bottom of the 1st. Moustakas has hit the ball very well since coming over from Colorado, maintaining a .270 average, but has a .461 slugging percentage since joining the Angels.
Both teams up aggressive.
Well, Miller, like we saw from George Kirby last night, and Logan Gilbert in this Mariner rotation as well, he throws strikes too. He'll certainly be around the plate. Only 17 walks for Miller this year.
I'll tell you what, though, Wayne, when you think about that, if you're going to be successful as a pitcher, getting ahead 0-1 throughout the history of the game, the batting average completely different. 0-1 is compared to 1-0 for hitters.
It's 0-2 now after another high strike was called by Junior Valentine. That slash to left. That's a base hit for Moustakas. Around third, Shohei scores. Drury's on his way to third. He's being held up as the left fielder Marlowe gets it in. Mike Moustakas ties the game. RBI double to make it 1-1.
He brings that energy every single time he's on that baseball field. Saw him earlier today. He's excited about the opportunity to get this team on and jump on his back and see if he can carry him. RBI double for Moose's 12th double of the season, 35th RBI. That's a great piece of hitting. That ball was going sinker, going down and away, didn't try to pull it, and he lines it right down the left field line. What a swing. He's hit the ball really well to left field, left center since joining the Halos.
And the troubles continuing for Bryce Miller. He's allowed 3 straight hits and a run here in the first. Infield comes in for Seattle as Randall Grichuk swings through a fastball.
Hey, you think, okay, it's 1-1 here in the first inning. You bring your infield halfway in here. Your chances increases as a hitter to get a ball through the infield when they're in this part. He really slowed down on that delivery of the sweeper. Allows you as a hitter to track and think, okay, unless it's in the middle of the plate, I'm going to let that one go.
Moustakas now has more RBIs as an Angel in 31 games than he did in 47 for the Rockies. Grichuk seemed to hold his swing there. He did, and it's 2 balls, 1 strike on Randall Grichuk, who had his first home run wearing an Angels uniform at Angel Stadium last night. Two and two as Miller gets the fastball by Grichuk again.
Just looking to make some sort of contact here for Grichuk. 2-2, but only about 25% of the time I'll throw a slider. Other than that, he might see a fastball.
It was a fastball that he fought off, and it's still 2-2. Bryce Miller normally early in games has been pretty good. He has a 1.50 ERA in the first 2 innings of games this year. That ERA jumps above 6 after the second inning. The Angels have gotten to him early already with a run, and base hit here could make it 2 or 3. Another foul from Grichuk, and all fastballs here from Miller.
Does have on his four-seam fastball about a 26.5% whiff percentage with his four-seamer. You might see a slider here now after back-to-back fastballs in.
Tried to paint the outside corner, but missed for ball 3. Mickey Moniak is on deck. This will be the 20th pitch of this first inning already for Bryce Miller. And he strikes out Grichuk on a fastball that would have been ball 4.
You got him to expand the strike zone. He got the fastball that he wanted to be able to see, Grichuk, but it was elevated, tough to make contact with.
Grichuk does not draw many walks, neither does Mickey Moniak for that matter, but Grichuk would have had a walk there, and he let that one go by. Now Moniak will need a 2-out base hit to give the Angels the lead here in the first. Moniak had the bat taken out of his hands in the 9th inning yesterday. He was intentionally walked to load the bases with the tying and winning runs on base before Hunter Renfroe was pitched to, and Renfroe struck out against Andres Munoz. Moniak has certainly had his fair share of base hits, hitting over 300 for the year, and showing plenty of power as well. Former #1 overall draft choice. As Moniak expands his zone and goes after a high fastball.
Keeps throwing that high fastball to him, and he's going after it. He did that quite a bit on the road trip. He's hit a home run on a fastball in this homestand. Moniak's .271 with runners in scoring position this season.
Miller trying to pitch out of trouble. He's already allowed 1 run. And Moniak fights off that pitch to make it remain 1 ball 2 strikes. Mickey would have gone to UCLA had he not been drafted #1 overall by the Phillies in 2016, but he made his way north from Carlsbad, where he went to high school. Well, not far from there, Mickey Moniak has enjoyed playing for a home area team.
I was going to say it's going to be real close to a pitch timer violation.
And Miller, aware of that, stepped off. Now back to it with a count, 1 ball, 2 strikes on Moniak. Mickey stays alive. Boy, all fastballs here for Miller.
When you see a hitter expand in his zone and he's trying to go up above the strike zone, that was in the strike zone. Pretty good swing at that one for Moniak. I still wouldn't be surprised if he tried one even higher up, and he's got to be patient enough with Mickey Moniak. Slow down that arm action on his changeup. It's upstairs enough to be able to foul that one off. Doesn't throw a changeup a lot, about 5%.
Throws a slider that Moniak lines into the Mariner dugout.
So he was able to speed up the bat there because he threw a changeup the one before, and then he comes back with a slider. Moniak just out in front of him enough, but he was on the timing of the pitch. That's why more than likely a high fastball here now coming. See if Moniak can make some contact.
The Angels making Miller work here in the first inning. They've scored 1. Moniak swings through a high fastball to end the inning. Miller was on the ropes. The Angels settle for 1. The game tied.
With Home Chef, you're not just home cooking, you're home winning. Our fast and fresh meal kits are as fast to make as they are fresh to enjoy. When it comes to making dinner, fill in the blanks with Home Chef. Delicious, meat simple.
Get 18 free meals when you sign up at homechef.com.
When the details take precedence, the rest falls perfectly into place. We strip away everything but the essential. And what we're left with are thoughtful bedrooms for modern living. Thuma.
Sure, you'll teach her to drive a car. Then use Greenlight and teach her to save up for her own car. Mowing lawns and getting paid.
Navigate the world of earning, saving, and investing together.
Invest in your best investment. Greenlight.
If sports fans built a streaming service.
Can't believe the football season is over.
Yeah, but with my stuff, we can rewatch all the games we recorded.
The Minnesota comeback.
JJ's finale.
Butt punch.
Oh, is that what the My Stuff feature was invented for? Saving butt-related content? Because I thought it was for keeping your favorite TV shows and movies all in one place.
I'm sorry, Mr. Sanchez.
Live TV and sports and more, but mostly sports. That's Fubo!
Angels this game tied entering the top of the second. For more on Silseth, we hand it down to Carlin Bathe.
Thank you so much, Wayne. I asked Phil Nevin about Chase today, what he needs to do out there on the mound, and he basically said keep doing what he's been doing. He had 2 great starts against the Yankees and the Braves, and Chase credits going back down to AAA as a big confidence booster. He took it as an opportunity to recalibrate instead of getting down on himself, and he said a talk with pitching coordinator Dylan Axelrod had a big impact on him too. Dylan said, you're trying to do too much with your slider. You're trying to make it too nasty, too hard. And Gooby, I mean, what's so important about simplifying things when it comes to pitching like that?
Just right there, Carl, that's exactly what he just threw, a slider there. That was going to be about 82 miles an hour early in the season. He was throwing that slider as hard as he could and becomes flatter. It's almost a cut fastball where it stays towards the swing path of a hitter and the barrel of the bat. That slider now goes down the way just like that to be able to get a punch out.
He strikes out Teoscar Hernandez, and there's 1 away in the second. You look at Silseth's numbers at AAA this year. Keep in mind, at Salt Lake City, that ball's flying out of that ballpark, and in that league in particular. He had a 2.79 ERA in 9 starts at Salt Lake.
And that's not easy, Wayne, to be able to create that downward tilt on a slider, especially in that thin air at a lot of places they will play on. So that's why it was important for him not to try to overthrow that slider. So stay on top of the baseball, think fastball, and then that late break with your fingers on top of it and not muscling up on it.
1 out. Here's Mike Ford. Ford always good to launch one every now and then. He's done pretty well for the Mariners this year. Ford's hit 11 home runs.
He was getting a lot of playing time early on, not as much lately. He was a team favorite with the Angels when he was there for that period of time last season. A lot of the guys ran over and saw him right away when they came into town.
2 balls and a strike on Ford.
He's got that open stance. He's still looking for something on that inner half of the plate.
The funny thing about batting stances is you see Ford's with that wide open look, and then he closes it up right away as soon as the pitcher is about to deliver.
But still, you could tell by that swing, he does close it up, but he's still looking inner half.
3 balls, 2 strikes. You know, as guys stand different ways, they always seem to come back right to where everybody else is anyway.
Yeah, even with their hands a lot of times, some guys will have their hands up higher, lower. I always felt a guy to have their hands lower, they have to bring their hands up, so that gives you a chance to pitch inside against them.
3-2 on Ford. And that's in there, strike 3 called. Fastball at the bottom of the zone. Had Ford guessing, and Silseth with back-to-back strikeouts to start the second.
And that one's at 97 miles an hour. Mentioned pitching that fastball up and down in the zone. That's down in the zone at 97.
Two outs and a strike to Cade Marlowe. You ever face Tony Batista when he would stand looking right at the pitcher's shoulder?
And then have his hands up too, but then same thing. He was so good, so quick inside. Harold Baines was like that too. He was about a mile off the plate. Then you could pitch him away early, but then if you got 2 strikes, he tried that. He had a line drive right back up the middle. Because then he had that open stance and he'd be able to dive in there and be able to cover that outside part of the plate. That's why he's a Hall of Famer.
4 balls, 2 strikes on Cade Marlowe. Marlowe had the grand slam on Thursday, just a back-breaking blow to the Angels. Silseth trying to aim for that outside corner. A little bit too far out. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Marlowe with that home run off Carlos Estevez, who would love another chance to get back on the horse and finish one. Love an opportunity here today as the Angels look to score a victory, stop the bleeding here, and try to turn things back around. Swing and a miss. Chase Silseth strikes out the side in the top of the second. A cutter to punch out Cade Marlowe. It was Teoscar Hernandez whiffing on the slider. Mike Ford goes down looking on the fastball, and the cutter wipes out Cade Marlowe to make it a perfect top of the second.
MLB The Show Legend Line. Ready to play?
Let's get it.
Come on. Nice.
That was sick.
Man, you like that? Check out the new Storylines mode where you can play as one of the Negro League baseball legends.
Your voice sounds familiar. Do I know you?
Just call me the captain.
Rated E for everyone.
MLB Tonight, the ultimate late-night baseball party.
Oh, man.
With live look-ins to the night's biggest moments.
How hot was that?
That's money.
What?
The best interviews.
I've never asked a player, do you need a blanket? It is kind of cold out there.
And cutting-edge analysis from TV's best former players fresh off the field.
Get your hands up.
There's nothing quite like MLB Tonight.
This is going to be a big deal tonight.
This one takes the cake.
That is awesome.
MLB Tonight. Late nights on MLB Network. MLB Tonight, the ultimate late-night baseball party. See the night's biggest moments, the best interviews.
We all love DJ Dan.
And cutting-edge analysis from TV's best.
This one takes the cake. That is awesome.
MLB Tonight, late nights on MLB Network.
Tied here in the bottom of the second at Angels Stadium. Hunter Renfroe leads off against Bryce Miller, who had a very busy first inning. Threw 28 pitches, allowed just 1 run. Angels really had Miller on the ropes. Couldn't lay off the high fastball there at the end of the first inning. Miller had back-to-back strikeouts on Grichuk and Moniak to hold it to 1 run.
Well, the common denominator amongst a lot of these starters for the Mariners, they throw a lot of fastballs. In their minor league system, a lot of their guys throw more breaking pitches. At the big league level, a lot of fastballs, all of them.
There's a fastball at the top of the zone there. 1 ball, 2 strikes. There's Luis Castillo, who's throwing more fastballs now than he used to as well. Chatting with Logan Gilbert for the Mariners.
He throws a lot of fastballs, 4-seam fastballs.
Renfroe wipes out on the slider, and Miller has his 4th strikeout.
So there's already 8 strikeouts in this game combined. Miller, take a look at his pitch arsenal. Take a look at our StatCast 3D powered by Google Cloud. 4-seam fastball. You see that 66% slider, 21% sweeper, about 6, changeup 5. Throw a sinker about 2% in his curveball, but see that whiff percentage on the 4-seamer, 26.5%. It's pretty impressive to get that many whiffs on a fastball.
There's another high strike. That's something helping out Miller here in the early going. He's getting a lot of called strikes above the zone. And snaps back over the inside corner, and Miller gets another called strike, and Theis didn't seem to like either of those.
I mean, the big thing is when you throw enough of those fastballs upstairs, again, a couple of them are above the zone, but if you force them down just a little bit, that is the baseball you hit in the air. You're not going to hit that ball on the ground, so you hit it in the air in a warm day like today. That's where baseball go a long, long way.
Miller's given up 6 home runs over his last 2 starts. Only allowed 7 in his first 13.
I would just stay up there all day long if you're getting that call.
Yeah. Might as well. Miller didn't give up any home runs over his first 5 major league starts. Wasn't until his 6th one. Got bit by Aaron Judge.
Who?
Just missed the outside corner. So 2 balls, 2 strikes on Theis. Swing and a miss. Another fastball. So Theis strikes out. That's 4 in a row for Bryce Miller.
And sticking with that heater, mentioned that high percentage of whiff percentage on that one. It looks inviting. It's a tough one to catch up to that, especially when you're seeing it up there at 97 and 98 miles an hour.
You mentioned it earlier. Lefties have really covered Miller, and last 5 home runs allowed have come to left-handed batters. There's another lefty, Eduardo Escobar. Last time out against the Red Sox, Alex Verdugo and Reese McGuire choked up and hit one out.
Escobar nearly hit a home run down in Atlanta. Last road trip. Ended up being a triple.
2 balls, no strikes on Escobar.
It's 4 doubles and 4 triples this season, along with 5 home runs. So far, he's really spotted his fastball well, too. Not only is he elevated it effectively, but also he's staying away against the lefters, forcing him to hit the ball the other way if they're going to do damage, kind of like Moustakas did.
2 balls, 2 strikes on Escobar. His playing time has been lessened over the last couple of weeks. Angels have gotten some players back. Also with the trades they made as well, bringing in C.J. Cron, took a bite out of Escobar's playing time, but an opportunity to start today. And Bryce Miller strikes out the side here in the second. Both starting pitchers did. It's 1-1 after 2.
If you love baseball, you need to watch Baseball's Show of Record, MLB Tonight.
We've got a bunch of games kicking off.
Who gets you ready to start the evening? These guys.
With Harold Reynolds, I'm Adnan Burke. Good to have you with us.
Join Harold and Adnan for a first look at the night's matchups.
Shohei Ohtani. We're going to talk about this guy forever.
First take from the players.
Thanks for joining us, man. Thanks for having me.
And the first of many breakdowns.
Let's put this in perspective.
Then, as your game night continues, stay tuned for the ultimate late-night baseball party. With live look-ins to the night's biggest moments.
MLB Tonight takes you live inside the park.
The best interviews.
I've never asked a player, you need a blanket? It is kind of cold out there.
And cutting-edge analysis from TV's best former players fresh off the field.
Get your hands up.
There's nothing quite like MLB Tonight.
That is awesome.
This one takes the cake.
This is going to be a big deal tonight.
Exactly. You can't top that.
MLB Tonight, every night on MLB Network.
The Angels take on the Rays at 6:30. The first 25,000 fans will receive a City Connect Rally Monkey courtesy of angels.ocnavigator.org. For more info, visit angels.com/promotions. Angels have not even played the Tampa Bay Rays at any point yet this season. They'll have their whole season series with the Rays in August and September.
Their great starter McClanahan won't be available at that point. I mean, he's so devastating. He's pitched very well against the Angels in his career.
We'll see if McClanahan's back the second time those teams play when the Angels go to St. Petersburg near the end of the season. Josh Rojas leads off here in the third against Chase Silseth. That's 1 ball, 2 strikes. We've seen 10 strikeouts in the first 2 innings of this game. Silseth has fanned 4, and Bryce Miller has gotten all 6 of his outs on strikeouts.
Last inning you mentioned it, Silseth with 3 different pitches to get his punch outs. Miller just the opposite. He's just going with his fastball to get the punchies.
Rojas with a chopper, and it's handled by Moustakas. Took a little bit of a jump on him, but he was able to handle it and get it to Silseth for the out.
That was a tough hop. You're right, Wayne. That was a tough one for Moustakas. Seen him make a lot of really good plays lately at third base. Stayed with it. Perfect feed to Silseth. That's why you always, as a pitcher, anything on that side of the infield, you always get over there to the base. Good angle he took also.
1 out. Here's Crawford. As he looks at a strike. I love these Angels City Connect uniforms.
Yes. Rally Monkey's looking solid in there too in that giveaway on the 18th.
Yeah, he was looking for some new fashion. Crawford swings and misses. Some of these City Connect uniforms are a little tacky looking.
A little interesting. How about that?
They are a little bit aggressive to the eye. Well, these are perfect. The Angels City Connect uniforms. No balls and 2 strikes on Crawford. Check swing and a miss, strike 3. That is the 5th strikeout for Silseth, and Crawford, who opened the game with a home run, strikes out here.
How about that sequence? He went slider, splitter, cutter, punch out. That's a pitch he started throwing towards the end of the season in spring training a lot because he had struggled last season against left-handed batters. It's an effective pitch for him. He gets a lot behind his throw. He is very, very aggressive. High energy guy on the mound. That's the one thing he had to learn to do, especially with his slider, is not overthrowing it.
Two balls, no strikes on Julio Rodriguez. Grounded out to third his first time. Ground ball here. Rengifo with the diving play. Gets up, fires, not in time. Rodriguez too fast for all that happened there, but a great effort from Luis Rengifo.
Yeah, good range error for Rengifo, getting a lot of playing time in shortstop with Zach Neto being out. But he gets down that line. He's always at least 30 feet per second down the line. Elite speed. This one 31.1 feet per second. Elite is 30. And he was jammed on that pitch too. That makes it even more impressive to get down there that quickly. Imagine he's going to be trying to steal a base here now.
That is some excellent speed from Rodriguez. That's the only thing keeping Rengifo out of the highlight reel there. That was a tremendous effort from Luis Rengifo.
That's that 6th hit in this series for Rodriguez against the Angels. Silseth has a quick move, and footwork is excellent. He's allowed just 1 stolen base, 1 attempt this year, 4 total in his career against them. He's quick to the plate, quick move.
Pretty big lead for Rodriguez at first. Now he'll go to second on a ball that kicks off the glove of Thaiss. He might go to third. Rodriguez taking off. Thaiss throws to third. It is not in time. Rodriguez advances 2 bases on a wild pitch.
The toughest thing for a pitcher to communicate with the catcher is where that baseball is, because you can just point, place, or say towards third, but it's tough to be able to react to that. You're pointing over there, telling where that baseball is. The only thing you can basically say is towards the on-deck circle.
Nice with that slide into the throw. Yanked Escobar off the bag. A good throw there would have had Rodriguez. Julio pushes the envelope and he gets 2 bases on a wild pitch. Now he's at third. It's 1 ball, 2 strikes on Eugenio Suarez, who struck out his first time.
So basically, the speed of Julio Rodriguez is why he's at third base, beats out an infield hit, and goes all the way to third on a wild pitch while he's at first base. So if you go back to that slider with trust and Thaiss to keep this in front, still think you go that pitch.
Suarez lays off that, and it's 2-2. Suarez will strike out quite a bit. Among the major league leaders in that category. Not that Silseth needs a punch out here, but he'll take one. Trying to get out of this inning without Seattle taking the lead back. On 2-2 to Eugenio Suarez. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Silseth does get the punch out. He's fanned 6 in the first 3 innings, and he strands Rodriguez at third.
See it. He struck him out. It's out of here.
Feel it.
I can't wait for this game to start. He took a home run away.
Leave it.
That is as good as it gets.
The big plays.
The beauty of sports is when the hero comes through.
Yeah, the tense moments.
We have an update we must show you.
With live look-ins, highlights, and breakdowns.
That might be what it takes to win.
MLB Tonight on MLB Network.
MLB Tonight, the ultimate late-night baseball party. See the night's biggest moments, the best interviews.
We all love DJ Dan.
And cutting-edge analysis from TV's best.
This one takes the cake.
That is awesome.
MLB Tonight, late nights on MLB Network.
That baseball, make that dust sound off that baseball and get it up here in the wind and the carry. Dust in the wind by Kansas here, looking for some power, especially from the left-handed batters coming up in this inning for the Halos.
You're my boy, Blue.
Way to go.
Luis Rengifo leads off the bottom of the third. Looks at a breaking ball strike from Bryce Miller. He's thrown mostly fastballs in the first couple of innings and has 6 strikeouts. Mentioned it earlier, though, Miller's ERA after the second inning this year is over 6.
Yeah, and he's given up 5 home runs in the third inning this year. That first time through, 161, and it goes up to 240, eventually up to 291.
It's Rengifo to chase that slider, and it's 1 ball, 2 strikes. About 75% fastballs in the early going from Miller. That's just with the four-seamer, let alone some sinkers that he's thrown. Rengifo, though, has blossomed in the leadoff spot when he's been in there. 394 on base percentage in games where he's led off. That'll certainly play when you're batting in that #1 spot. Hits this one hard and through, a base hit over the outstretched glove of Rojas. Leadoff single for Luis Rengifo in the third.
Yeah, he did a nice job of bringing his hands up on that elevated four-seam fastball to get that over Rojas's head and give Shohei Ohtani a chance to swing the bat.
Shohei Ohtani, our Kia player profile, and the durability of Ohtani. Third most games played in the majors since 2021, and that's with all the pitching in between his batting appearances as well. Marcus Semien, Vlad Jr. on that list. For Shohei to post the way that he does, considering the 2 jobs that he has, is really remarkable.
It is incredible. Just the mindset, the work ethic. Starts him off with a sweeper that first pitch. By the way, Shohei Ohtani is crushing fastballs this year. He's got 20 home runs, a 372 batting average, slugging .781 versus fastballs.
This one foul to the left side. Ohtani entered the day tied for 3rd in the American League in hitting with Masataka Yoshida of Boston. Only Yandy Diaz and Bo Bichette ahead of Shohei in batting average.
By the way, everything that Shohei hits is the sound of the crowd, even a foul ball.
Piece there. Shohei hitting .308, Diaz .315, Bichette .321. Those are the top 3 hitters right now in the American League. Shohei fouled that last one off his foot.
This is the thing about Bryce Miller here. For a young pitcher, he's holding on to the baseball a lot longer. He gets in that set position, and Shohei's trying to walk that one off, right off his foot again. We saw that earlier in this series. He holds on to the baseball a long time. Sometimes as a hitter, you're out in front, exactly what it was, off the top of his foot.
Shohei feeling better as far as his cramping goes. He is expected to pitch on Wednesday against San Francisco. And we saw him eating the bananas in the dugout the other day. Yunenori Kawasaki always said, monkeys don't cramp, they eat bananas. That's what you got to eat to avoid cramps. Shohei strikes out. Another punch out for Miller. That is 7. All of the outs have come on strikeouts for Bryce Miller.
Back to, he went to his slider. That's his 16th punch out in a slider. You see that both his feet moving a little bit more on that one. He crushed that fastball the first at bat. Steady diet of off-speed pitches on that at bat for Shohei.
Brandon Drury swings through a pitch up in the zone. Miller has had command of his high fastball here early on. All 7 outs, and Miller has recorded, have been on strikeouts. He's only had the 1 double-digit strikeout game. He had 10 in his big league debut against the A's. That's the only time he has even gotten above 7.
He's allowed 4 stolen bases in 5 attempts against him. Cal Raleigh's thrown out 18% of would-be base stealers.
He's a good sinker there, and it's 0-2. Miller is from Mount Pleasant, Texas. He went to New Braunfels High School, which is near San Antonio. Lee Nash went to that high school. She's from Sixpence None the Richer. Maybe next time we see Bryce Miller, you could work in Sixpence None the Richer into your Hyundai Key.
Okay, I'll give it a shot. No, we go up to Seattle here before too long.
I don't know any of their songs. That's your job.
It's a challenge. I'll be ready to go.
0-2 on Drury. Mike Moustakas behind him. And Hifo started this inning with a base hit. And there's strike 3 to Drury. So another strikeout for Miller. He has fanned 8.
I think Miller already thought it was 3 outs.
Yeah, ball got away as Miller was headed back to the dugout. And Josh Rojas scooped the ball up to keep Renifo from advancing to second base.
He thought about going there too. He gets Drury looking on a fastball here, and he's already walking off the mound, and Cal Raleigh's throwing the ball back, and he's trying to stop his throw, but he's already releasing the baseball. And Mike Borg goes, wait a minute, I thought there was 2 outs.
Moustakas an RBI double his first time. He slapped the ball to the left field corner to drive home Shohei. These Mariner fielders probably got excited that a ball was headed their way. They have not had to record an out beyond the strikeouts that Miller has posted, 8 of them in 2 2/3 innings. Is it to make you tired to just get all strikeouts like this?
Eventually, you just feel like you're just going to challenge hitters all the way through. Yeah, it builds your confidence. But you always keep it in your mind. You think, I might make a mistake sometime. Or get a call like that. It's borderline out of the strike zone. Call the strike.
His high strikes have been called all day by Junior Valentine.
And he's hearing it in the dugout, that's for sure.
Well, that's the spot. You know, high or low, you can tell from the dugout. Outside, inside, it's tougher to tell. But high and low, they can see that. Runner going, and Moustakas fouls one off. And 2 balls, 2 strikes on Moustakas. Miller's about to throw his 60th pitch already, not yet out of the 3rd. So
that's what happens when you get that high strikeout total.
Nearly 30 pitch first inning too. Moustakas with a good piece of that, fouls it next to the Mariners radio booth.
Yeah, stay away from Rick Riz on that one. That fly ball in there. Keep it away. Keep protected.
Rick Riz still recovering from his ATV accident, but he's back with the ball club. Good to see Rick this weekend. Rick Riz, a fellow Chicagoan. You know, you Philly guys like you and Terry Smith always stick together. Rick Riz from Chicago, Illinois.
His kind of town.
That's right. Rick Riz, I just lost his paper.
Oh, you guys from Chicago, I'll tell you.
Well, somebody get Rick his papers. Renifo running. Moustakas lines a base hit to right. Renifo's on his way to 3rd. He'll get there easily. Moustakas sends Renifo to the other corner with his 2nd hit today.
2 rockets today for Moose. The Moose calls. Talked to him today about that. He just loves the way how the fans have reacted to him and being back home here. He's been clutch. Halo uniform, and he's loving the fact that the fans are going Moose. Some of those antlers out here at some point at the yard.
Stick them on the Kabutos.
Yes.
Now Randall Grichuk will bat. He struck out his first time. All 8 outs recorded by Miller have been strikeouts, but he's also given up 5 hits. As we look at our Indeed player resume, Randall Grichuk has bounced around a bit in his career since being drafted by the Angels in 2009. And he's got a lot of power. A handful of seasons with at least 20 homers, at a career high 31 for the Blue Jays a few years back. Traded to the Cardinals after the Angels sent him and Peter Borges to St. Louis for David Freese and Fernando Salas after the 2013 season. Soft bouncer to 3rd as Suarez handles that and throws out Grichuk to end the innings. The Angels threaten but can't get one across, and it's still tied.
This is Chris Bryant. This is Christopher Russo. And this is the High Heat Hot Seat. Chris Bryant plays hard so he doesn't end up here. High Heat with Christopher Russo, helping players play harder on MLB Network.
See it. He struck him out. It's out of here.
Feel it.
I can't wait for this game to start. He took a home run away.
Live it.
That is as good as it gets.
The big plays.
The beauty of sports is when the hero comes through.
Yeah, the tense moments. We have an update we must show you.
With live look-ins, highlights, and breakdowns.
That might be what it takes to win.
MLB Tonight on MLB Network.
of 20 or more and get tickets for as low as $8 per seat. Call 888-796-HALO or visit angels.com/groups for more details. Bring the kids.
Yes.
This Shohei fan excited to see the ball game today as the Angels try to win one against the Mariners. The San Francisco Giants will be here tomorrow. Gabe Kapler's gang. We'll see Logan Webb right away, their best starter.
Yeah, he is a ground ball machine.
Sandoval will pitch tomorrow, so that grounds crew down there will be having to work on the infield tomorrow.
Both of them well over 50% ground ball rate. Webb is about 60, I think he's 61%. Dr. Sandoval just under 51%. So Barney's going to be working hard.
That's a tough day with those two ground ball aces out there. Patrick Sandoval against Logan Webb tomorrow night. The Giants, after they play the Angels here, they go home and they'll take on the Texas Rangers Friday. That'll be Bruce Bochy's return to Oracle Park. Should be quite a night.
Great pitch.
3-1 breaking ball to make it 3-2 on Cal Raleigh. Raleigh chases for strike 3.
Fortunately, that baseball hit the umpire. Didn't get too far away. Cutter, another strikeout with his cutter today. Chase Silseth, pitch he's really got a good feel for now against left-handed batters.
That's 7 strikeouts for Silseth. Bryce Miller has 8. These two starting pitchers certainly racking up the Ks in the early going here. Giants have not announced starters for Tuesday and Wednesday yet. Their rotation in a little bit of turmoil. One to Dominic Canzone. Giants started Alex Cobb today, so we won't see him in that series.
Solid with his season with the Angels. Just a couple times missed some time with his wrist and then a blister issue.
There's the upcoming series with the Giants, then a big road trip. 3 in Houston, 3 in Texas. Angels trying to make up ground. Well, there's your chance to do it. Back home against the Tampa Bay Rays.
But maybe you get a chance to see Mike Trout before too long. He was out today catching fly balls, working defensive drills, doing some exercises also. You know, he hit off the tee just a couple days ago. So Trout getting closer.
It's been a little over a month now since Trout had that surgery. Strike 3 called. Another fastball at the bottom of the zone, and Dominic Canzone goes down looking. It's the 8th strikeout for Silseth.
That was another perfect fastball down in the zone. 97. Done a nice job in that adjustment against left-handed batters. Last year, lefties against Silseth, 353 with a 1117 OPS versus left-handed batters, but that cut fastball has been effective against the lefties this year.
Line drive over the head of Escobar and into left field, a base hit for Hernandez. It rolls to the wall, and Teoscar Hernandez has a 2-out double. Ball was really smoked, and it seemed like Escobar saw it very well.
This one has stayed up. sped up his bat. Picking up his 19th double.
109 off the bat of Teoscar Hernandez.
So now you got that big moment right now for Silseth against a lefty. The Yankees end up losing the game today against the Astros 9-7.
Here's Mike Ford. Fouls off the first pitch that he sees. Remember, Silseth, the last time he pitched here, had 10 strikeouts against one of Ford's former teams, the Yankees. It was a new career high for Silseth. And now he's fanned 8 in this one. One ball, one strike on Ford.
Pitch number 57 coming now for Silseth. Last time out through 90. I said 63, I should say, in 5 really good innings in Atlanta. That's a good pitch there.
One ball, 2 strikes. And Silseth, unlike Miller with his strikeouts today, Silseth has been fairly efficient even with the strikeout total climbing. Ahead of Mike Ford, 1 ball, 2 strikes. And Ford laid off that cutter in the dirt, 2-2.
He's been having that combination of slider, cutter. Cutter coming in about 89. His slider is about 81. Ford has always hit fastballs well, so if you're throwing a fastball, you got to hit your spot.
Swing and a miss. Strikeout number 9. Chase Silseth missing bats all day against the Mariners. Works around a 2-out double in the 4th. His 3rd strikeout of the inning as Ford flails away to keep it tied.
We love going to games, but good seats get pricey. So we use Game Time. Game Time checks ticket prices in real time and finds you all the best last-minute deals. We got our seats 20 minutes ago for 60% off. Last-minute tickets at the best price in seconds. Download Game Time now.
ED is difficult for me and for my partner. Through HIMS, I can message a licensed provider about clinically proven ED treatments. Like the generic form of Viagra, which can cost 90% less than the brand name version. Then HIMS ships discreetly to my door for free. I never knew it could be this easy to get my confidence back. Now we can both count on a great experience every time. Start your free visit today at forhims.com.
At Warby Parker, we believe in vision for all. Not just in the sense that we offer lots of frame styles and sizes, because we do. Or that we have glasses, sunglasses, contacts, and eye exams. There's also that. But because we believe everyone has the right to see. So for every pair sold, a pair of glasses is distributed to someone in need. Try 5 pairs for free or visit a nearby store.
Stadium, the Angels and the Mariners tied at 1 in a game that has already seen a total of 17 strikeouts, 9 from Chase Silseth in 4 innings, 8 from Bryce Miller in 3. First pitch strike to Moniak.
Now he's starting to mix in more of his secondary pitches.
Ton of fastballs the first couple of innings from Miller. He's allowed 5 hits. Silseth's given up 3. Silseth allowed a homer to the first batter he faced on the first pitch of the game.
What a play by a fan on that one. High-fiving a bunch of his friends down there.
There's Crawford who hit that home run, the only blemish for Silseth today. And the Angels got that one right back, and now Bryce Miller has his 9th strikeout. Moniak goes down looking.
That fastball was in the zone this time around. Just the very top of the strike zone.
There was a game earlier this year where both starting pitchers made it to 10 strikeouts. Shohei was on one of those ends for the Angels. It happens from time to time, but not often. You see both starting pitchers rack up strikeouts like this in the same game. Reed Detmers and Dylan Cease each had 10 strikeouts June 26th when the White Sox were here.
Already with 3 strikeouts looking for Miller today.
He's ahead of Renfroe, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Miller trying to tie his career high with 10 strikeouts. Silseth 1 away from doing the same. That ball hit well to left center field. Coming in for it is Marlowe, and he's there to make the catch.
Seems like he's been throwing, especially lefties lately. The first pitch, a breaking ball, sweeper, slider, maybe even a changeup. So if you're Theis, try to get one on the inside part of the plate and see if you can lift it.
Big injury to the Rangers tonight. Josh Young has a broken left thumb.
He's having an outstanding rookie campaign.
His left hand. Bruce Bochy announcing that after their game today. The Rangers swept Miami. Matt Theis with a pop-up left side as Suarez ranges over, and fair territory has it to end the inning.
After your 9 to 5, your 5 to 9 should be easy. As easy as Home Chef's fast and fresh meals. Relax during the home stretch with a meal filled with fresh, pre-portioned ingredients while your microwave or oven does all the work, so you can clean your plate and skip the cleanup after. Get dinner done quicker with Home Chef's fast and fresh meals, so you can spend your 5 to 9 however you want to. Delicious meat simple. Get 18 free meals at homechef.com.
Grand Canyon University's RN to BSN online degree program makes earning your bachelor's in nursing possible. Balance online coursework with local in-person clinicals to prepare you to lead as a charge nurse in the time you have from wherever you are, leaving room for what matters. Achieve your goals with your personalized plan and team behind you. Find your purpose at Grand Canyon University. Visit gcu.edu.
Welcome to the Aura Sleep Lab. You need a bit more deep sleep. Getting enough high-quality sleep increases immunity. Why? Because sleep helps fend off sickness. A good night's sleep boosts your number of infection-fighting antibodies and cells. And with your Aura Ring, you can learn how to sleep deep and keep your immunity up. It's like having a sleep lab on your finger. Go to sleepwithauraring.com.
Chase Silseth so far today has been very, very good, using all his pitches very effectively against this Seattle lineup. That four-seam fastball, his slider, his cutter. He's mixing a few splitters, but his cutter has been excellent against left-handed batters and elevating when he needs that four-seamer and painting the lower part of the strike zone. So excellent so far for Silseth in this game against Seattle after the first 3 games. A tough one, 9 punch-outs, no walks, and 4 innings pitched for Silseth.
First pitch here, Cade Marlowe. It's a liner to first. Looks like Moustakas caught it on the fly. Takes it to the bag just in case. And there's 1 pitch, 1 out here in the 5th inning. So Silseth, in his last 10 innings pitched here at Angel Stadium, has struck out 19 hitters.
Love those quick outs too, especially when you have, even though the pitch count has been good, it's a lot of strikeouts. So max effort to get those punch outs.
One away, here's Rojas, who bounced out to Moustakas his first time. Only 60 pitches for Silseth. Rojas taking all the way, looks at a strike. And the Angels would love some length from Silseth, especially with Ronaldo Lopez not available today on the bereavement list. The Angels a pitcher short due to finding that out this morning. 1 ball, 1 strike. That one seemed to get a chunk of Thaiss.
Well, all these games that Matt Thaiss has caught this season, it's been pretty sore of late. Like the pitch come right off the wrist area. He's done a nice job with that feel for a slider. It's not an overpowering slider like we saw earlier in the season, especially when he was pitching out of the bullpen when he's a full max guy.
Crawford on deck. He's got the only run for Seattle today with a first pitch homer in the 1st inning. It's 2-2 now on Rojas.
Like the last season for Matt Thaiss, 11 starts behind the plate, already 56 starts at the catching position this year.
He should get a big pat on the back for what he has done this year and how he has taken hold of that position. Rojas got just a piece there. Matt Thaiss was drafted as a catcher out of the University of Virginia. Was a 2-time All-American there, a College World Series champion at Virginia.
It's Logan Ohtani, who is just about ready to go on a rehab assignment. Probably get those full 20 games down. Started out in A-ball, work his way eventually up to AAA.
Ohtani excited to start playing in real games again, and Angels will be happy to have him back. There's a fly ball from Rojas. Moniak sizes up and squeezes for the 2nd out. And Matt Thaiss says he has returned to the catching position. The Angels made him a quarter infielder. Took him away from being behind the plate. Then he went back there again, and he's kind of readjusted and relearned that position as he's gone along this year. And the Angels couldn't be more impressed with the job that Matt Thaiss has done as, you know, essentially a full-time catcher this year. And the Angels came into this season not knowing what to do with Thaiss. He was out of options. And there was a possibility, had Max Stassi been around this year, that Stassi and Ohtani were going to be the 2 catchers. It would have left Thaiss as the odd man out. And it hasn't turned out that way. And Thaiss has done the bulk work behind the plate this season.
Slider and fastball against Crawford here.
Ground ball off the bat of Crawford that Escobar scoops up. Chase Silseth has handled himself nicely today against the Mariners. A 1-2-3, top of the 5th.
This is Chris Bryant. This is Christopher Russo. And this is the High Heat Hot Seat. Chris Bryant plays hard so he doesn't end up here. High Heat with Christopher Russo, helping players play harder on MLB Network. If you love baseball, you need to watch Baseball's show of record, MLB Tonight.
We've got a bunch of games kicking off.
Who gets you ready to start the evening? these guys.
With Harold Reynolds, I'm Adnan Burke. Good to have you with us.
Join Harold and Adnan for a first look at the night's matchups.
Shohei Ohtani. We're going to talk about this guy forever.
First take from the players.
Carl, thanks for joining us, man.
Thanks for having me.
And the first of many breakdowns.
Let's put this in perspective.
Then, as your game night continues, stay tuned for the ultimate late-night baseball party. With live look-ins to the night's biggest moments.
MLB Tonight takes you live inside the park.
The best interviews.
I've never asked a player, do you need a blanket? It is kind of cold out there.
And cutting-edge analysis from TV's best former players fresh off the field.
Get your hands up.
There's nothing quite like MLB Tonight.
That is awesome. This one takes the cake.
This is going to be a big deal tonight.
Exactly. You can't top that.
MLB Tonight, every night on MLB Network.
Coca-Cola Friends and Family Fun Pack for only $44. Get 4 tickets, 4 hot dogs, and 4 soft drinks. For more information regarding the Coca-Cola Friends and Family Fun Pack, visit angels.com/funpack.
How about some fun this inning, Wayne? Let's go.
That would be fun. Fun is fun.
It would be.
Eduardo Escobar with a swing and a miss. Hifo and then Ohtani, all lefties due up here in the bottom of the 5th against Bryce Miller, who has typically had tougher times with lefties than righties this year. But Miller has had not a tough time really with anybody today. 9 strikeouts, gave up 3 straight hits in the first, which plated a run, and only 2 hits since then.
Moustakas is about the only one consistent with his swing against him.
No balls and 2 strikes. Miller's really, at the end of the day, kind of a pitching nerd. He knows all these things about axis and vertical movement and horizontal movement. He really talks about pitching in that way. Says he tries to keep the axis greater than 1230 on his fastballs. You know what that means?
No, all I cared about was getting something hit at an infielder to be able to get it out. And shaking the catcher's hand after 9 innings.
2-2. He says if the axis is greater than 1230, then we start to lose vert. That means vertical movement. When I throw too many sliders, I end up a little too cross body. I've been anywhere from 1145 to 1230. That's what he says.
Is that AM or PM?
Long run for Marlowe, but he gets there and Escobar flies out. So 1 out, and Rengifo will bat. He has a base hit and a strikeout today.
Well, we know how aggressive on the first pitch Luis Rengifo is, and he's got the power. He's got to get something lifted in the air here today. Haven't really seen that yet for the Angels. Not a lot of contact against Miller, but when you get something in the air, it can go a long way.
Well, the flags are moving around pretty good today too, blowing straight out. See the flags high atop right center field near the batter's eye here, and they're blowing straight out towards straightaway center field. And there they are. The ball flies here anyway, even without that aid from the wind. But 1 ball, 1 strike on Rengifo. Shohei follows him here in the bottom of the 5th.
And the 3rd time through the lineup, 291 hitters against Miller.
This ball hit well toward the left field line, but Marlowe gets to that too, and there's 2 up, 2 down.
So Shohei had a line drive on a fastball, first at bat for a hit. Next at bat, got quite a few sliders, a changeup.
Shohei with 40 home runs. He has some company closing in on him. Matt Olson homered again for Atlanta today.
Got went 453 or so.
Yeah, to the back of the right center field bleachers at Wrigley, where the Cubs beat the Braves again. The Cubs have won 5 out of 6, and they're tied for a wild card spot now in the National League.
Another first pitch slider against Shohei here.
It's 0-2. Shohei's looked a little bit lost in these last 2 at bats after ripping a base hit his first time. So Ohtani now just 1 homer ahead of Olson for the major league lead. Shohei is comfortably ahead in the American League. Luis Robert is second. He's 10 behind Shohei.
Why not try another one there? He kind of guided that one. Again, you throw, and believe me, I threw a lot of sliders. If you throw enough of them in a row, then one of those is going to get flat, but you just got to make sure your timing is good as a hitter.
1 ball and 2 strikes on Ohtani. He swings and misses to end the inning. That is the 10th strikeout for Bryce Miller, tying his career high.
Imagine an entire channel dedicated to taking you to the most exciting moments in baseball as they happen.
And it's gone!
With live look-ins to clutch at bats.
A walk-off slam!
And players on the edge of making history.
This could be it! 62!
It's the best seat in the house at every ballpark. All commercial free.
Can you believe it?
MLB Network Strike Zone. Wednesdays and Fridays, all season long.
Jeremy Peña, the world champion shortstop with movie star presencia.
Every Dominican wants to grow up and play baseball, bro.
When I was 13, I was like, the plan is to get to the big leagues.
I love seeing young Dominicans win, bro, because I'm an old Dominican.
Ya tú sabes que el dominicano que juega, todo el mundo juega pelota.
Claro.
I was just looking forward to playing again, man. This is going to be a fun year.
Salud. A la vida más fina.
Salud, hermano.
Pitchers here, Chase Silseth and Bryce Miller, both drafted in 2021. Silseth, the 1st-round pick. Miller, a 4th-round pick, and they have been going at it here today as they have been able to strike out a lot of opposing hitters. Silseth, not a 1st-round pick that year. He was an 11th-round pick, but he was the 1st pick to get to the big leagues from the 2021 draft. Those 2 guys both drafted in the same year, and they have made good impressions here throughout their first looks in the big leagues, and especially today.
But just looking at the way the infield is set up against Rodriguez, way in the hole. Luis Rengifo, a lot of room. And basically where that base hit he had, infield hit the last at bat. So good, 2 really good sliders in a row. You can get him to chase. Just make sure this pitch isn't in the strike zone.
Swing and a miss. 10 strikeouts for Chase Silseth.
Just a great sequence. Did not give in. Made sure that was out of the strike zone and got the chase that Chase needed. Boy, that slider. What a difference maker between his slider and his splitter. He's been able to throw a splitter. Punch out there.
1 out here in the 6th. The batter Suarez. He has struck out twice. Silseth struck out 10 Yankees on July 19th, and he has matched that career high 2 starts later. And in between that, an outstanding outing against Atlanta as well. Bouncer back to the mound. Silseth rumbles that over toward first to retire Suarez. Isaiah Campbell is up in the Seattle bullpen. Bryce Miller has not been nearly as efficient as Silseth has today. So the Mariners might have to dig into their bullpen sooner than the Angels. I'm sure the way Silseth has looked here, Phil Nevin will like to ride this as deep into the game as he can. It's the 75th pitch for Silseth, and it's ball one to Cal Raleigh. Most pitches Silseth has thrown in any game this year is 90. That was July 5th at AAA. Most in a big league game this year, 85 in that start against New York.
The longest outing in a game in the major league level is 5 2/3.
Trying to make it through 6 complete innings for the first time in his big league career. At least the first time since his big league debut. He made it through 6 full innings in that one against the A's on May 13th last year. It'll be the first time this year if he can get one more out. Ball, there's a strike to Raleigh, and it's 3-2.
A 3-1 count to drop a slider, and that's pretty impressive.
There's ball 4, so Silseth loses Raleigh. It's the first walk issued from either pitcher today.
It was frustrating when he overthrew that fastball there. The key now is to clear that out of your mind as quick as possible. Still pretty good velo on his fastball into the 6th inning here at 95 miles an hour.
Bouncing ball, Moustakas has that. Silseth gets through 6 for the first time this season. He has been outstanding today.
Loco. Bueno, hay que conmemorar la vaina, loco. Una corona que no la mete. Ay, ay, ay. Me debe una. No había visto una ciudad así tan bonita, ¿no? Wow. El estadio ya se ve. Pues para la segunda casa. Dame tu secreto de la vida más que. Yo me disfruto lo más que yo pueda de mi vida. Salud. La vida más fina.
This is Garrett Cole. This is Christopher Russo. And this is the High Heat Hot Seat. Garrett Cole plays hard, so he doesn't end up here. High Heat with Christopher Russo, helping players play harder on MLB Network. MLB Tonight, the ultimate late-night baseball party.
Oh, man.
With live look-ins to the night's biggest moments.
How hot was that?
That's money.
What?
The best interviews.
I've never asked a player, do you need a blanket? It is kind of cold out there.
And cutting-edge analysis from TV's best former players fresh off the field.
Get your hands up.
There's nothing quite like MLB Tonight.
This is going to be a big deal tonight.
This one takes the cake.
That is awesome.
MLB Tonight, late nights on MLB Network.
It's the modern baseball show for the modern baseball fan. Off Base, with interviews and coverage of baseball's hottest stars.
I've done a couple interviews in my life. This probably is the most fun I've ever been a part of.
Only on MLB Network.
And Bryce Miller today, Gooby, they've been tremendous.
Oh, you can take a look at it in our T-Mobile coverage cam, how good, Wayne, they have been all day long. Fastball, slider, secondary pitches, aggressive, throwing strikes, been dominant. Both pitchers today. Miller went 5 innings, 10 punch-outs. Silseth, 6 innings with 10 punch-outs. Just 1 walk combined, each with an earned run. Just 8 hits combined. 11 innings pitched. This domination by both young pitchers.
Now Isaiah Campbell, who we saw the other night appearing in a game for the Mariners, he will take over here In the bottom of the 6th inning, Campbell allowed the 40th home run to Shohei Ohtani on Thursday. Angels would love to take him deep again here. And
he's got a pretty firm fastball himself. He's 93, 98. He'll throw a slider, a lot of them, and also a sweeper. He's looking for some offense here. Some support here for Chase Silseth. Talked about him in the opening today being the key, and he's been great so far in 6 really good innings.
Plenty deserving of a victory here today. This Mariner team typically around the plate. The Angels have not walked very much in this series. A total of 6 walks issued by Mariners pitchers this entire series. And it's 2-0 here on Brandon Drury as Campbell replaces Miller.
2 sliders to start the at-bat.
Drury swings at ball 3. Now it is 3 balls and a strike on Drury, who had a base hit earlier. Mike Moustakas on deck. Popped up. Rojas fights the sun and makes the catch. And 1 away here in the 6th inning. The Angels have only had 2 hits since the 1st. Seattle's only had 3 hits all day. Looks like Phil Nevin will continue to ride with Silseth.
You know, there's always been that conversation. You're looking to see what kind of velocity he still has on his pitches, and he's still throwing his fastball good. That 3rd time through, there's always been a little bit of concern about that Silseth.
So Chase Silseth will take the mound in the 7th inning of the game that he has started in the big leagues for the first time. Moustakas having a word with Junior Valentine, the home plate umpire. Seems to be some confusion here with Moustakas pointing at the Angels bench, and now Phil Nevin comes out.
Well, that was a quick walkover there to Phil Nevin by Junior Valentine.
It was.
I think bottom line, sometimes as a hitter, you're trying to get set in the batter's box before the pitcher's getting in that position to throw the baseball. That's the only thing I can think what was going on there.
Moustakas with his OPS nearing 800. There's ball 1. The Angels scored in the first, 3 straight hits. It was Moustakas with the RBI, a double that scored Ohtani. Both teams scored in the opening inning, and that's been it. 2 balls and no strikes.
Good pitch to drive now for Moustakas. He already has a double and a single in this game.
It's in there, and it's 2-1. Angels have 50 games left in the season starting today. They need to put on a good run to get to the end with a playoff shot. Talked about the Cubs surging in the National League. They've gone 32-18 over their last 50 games. So I don't think you have to pull that far into the past to find a good 50-game stretch that pulls you right into the postseason. Well, the Angels can do it. They just need a stretch like that, and they need to start it as soon as possible. This game tied in the bottom of the 6th. Moustakas with a bouncing ball that Mike Ford grabs. 2 outs. Grichuk 0 for 2 with a strikeout. As Campbell lands that pitch for a strike.
He throws a high percentage of sliders between that and a sweeper.
Grichuk gets into this one, but well foul. Grichuk has 10 home runs in 70 games this year. Last year at 19 home runs. Plenty of power, though. He's hit close to 200 in his major league career. It's a fly ball to right field. This one will hang up as Canzone gets under it. And Isaiah Campbell comes out of the bullpen with a 1-2-3 inning.
Batting averages are up this year. There's less downtime than ever before.
Goes into his windup, first pitch, and this ball's hit a long
high drive. Got the wall. See ya.
That ball's out of here.
That is long gone. Out of here.
Live black ad-free audio from every major league club, video of minor league games, plus highlights and look-ins on MLB Big Inning. The all-new At Bat is only $3.99 per month. Subscribe within the MLB app today.
Wake up to baseball's biggest stories.
Robert Flores wearing tweed.
Wake up to big-name guests.
Very special guests hanging out on the crushed red velvet.
This show is tough to get ready for.
And wake up to a whole lot of fun.
Wearing a robe holding a wooden phone.
MLB Central.
It is absolutely hilarious.
The show baseball fans and baseball players wake up to.
The show's starting to pick up.
I love the energy. I love the unexpected performances.
Weekday mornings on MLB Network.
We'll have a little fun and we'll laugh.
Sunday on the next episode of MLB's Carded. Join Greg Amsinger for a look at all things cardboard, from vintage to modern. We've got it covered. MLB's Carded, Sunday at 7:30 a.m. Eastern on MLB Network.
List that Chase Silseth joins today. His 10 strikeout performance, his second in the last few weeks. And rookie pitchers in Angel history with multiple 10 strikeout games. The last Shohei in 2018. An original Angel, Ken McBride, in 1961.
See the Shuku Kachugan in there. Not Shoemaker.
And Ken McBride had 241 strikeouts in the Angels' inaugural year of 1961. Frank Tanana, who had quite a career from there, on that list as well.
Boy, early in his career, he threw extremely hard, Frank Tanana. Him and Nolan Ryan. That series there, you weren't feeling real comfortable at the plate.
If those Angel teams in the 70s could hit at all, they would have been in the postseason, or at least in the division races, much more than they were, with that 1-2 punch of Ryan and Tanana leading that starting rotation. Finally, they did get there in 1979.
So when you just want to stay under control if you're Chase Silseth, you've been throwing the ball very, very well, staying within your mechanics.
2 balls, 2 strikes on Hernandez. Nobody's up yet in the Angels bullpen. Silseth is at 85 pitches. It's the most he's thrown in a big league game this year. He's in the 7th inning for the first time in his big league career. And he gives up a rocket from Hernandez. That ball is gone. Home run. Teoscar Hernandez got one up in the zone and punches it out to left. The Mariners have taken the lead. It's 2-1.
Run with a fastball that time, a 4-seam fastball upstairs. It was 96. It's 2 baseballs in a row. He's hit very hard. 2 home runs in this game for Seattle.
The 17th home run for Teoscar Hernandez. That's basically what Jerry DiPoto said at the trade deadline. And the reason why they didn't entertain a deal for Hernandez, well, they didn't want him to hit a big home run for another team. Even as he has struggled this year, they figured one was coming and more likely will come even still. This puts Seattle on top 2-1 as Silseth enters the 7th inning for the first time and immediately gives up a home run.
And the thing is, you go back to that at bat, he threw a splitter just before that, and he tried to run a fastball upstairs, and it was upstairs, but not quite above the strike zone.
2 balls and a strike on Mike Ford. And now it's 3-1.
Yeah, pitch had been called a lot throughout this game. That fastball up, not called there. It was out of the strike zone.
Angels are now getting their bullpen up. Count goes full on Ford. Most pitches Silseth has thrown in any game this year, and it's Jaime Barria throwing in the Angel bullpen. The team is down a reliever with Ronaldo Lopez going on the bereavement list today. Ford drills one toward left center. Moniak got a good jump. He's after it, makes the running catch.
That's 2 pretty good swings in a row. You might see a good conversation with Silseth from Matt Weiss just to slow him down here. It's another pretty good swing on a fastball, even though it's a firm fastball at 95.
One away here in the 7th, and the batter is Cade Marlowe. Angels have been quieted offensively these last 2 games. They managed just 3 runs. And Silseth kind of grabbing at the back of his leg after that last pitch. Got a swing and a miss from Marlowe.
Good slider there. Sometimes you see him grabbing to that back of that leg there when he's following through that push off leg, that pitching rubber. As I mentioned, high energy guy uses his lower half of his body well to push towards the plate.
Swing and a miss. Another strikeout for Silseth. That's number 11.
I mean, what, his splitter has been a lot better here today. That's a splitter we saw at times last year. It's been really, really effective.
The Angels need to get him some runs. Chase Silseth has given this team all he could today. 6 2/3 innings. He has struck out 11. He's only allowed 2 solo homers. He's on the losing end now as the Angels have managed just 1 run against the Mariners pitching staff. Josh Rojas with Crawford behind him, the number 9 batter for the Mariners. It's a big hack and comes up empty there. It's a ball and a strike.
Boy, he painted that fastball, 95-mile-an-hour fastball. Fitness strong here if you're Silseth. See if the offense can respond for you.
Swing and a miss. Strike 3. A dozen strikeouts. Chase Silseth has gone 7 for the first time in the big leagues. Now he needs some offense.
Imagine an entire channel dedicated to taking you to the most exciting moments in baseball as they happen.
And it's gone!
With live look-ins to clutch at-bats.
A walk-off slam!
And players on the edge of making history.
This could be it! 62!
It's the best seat in the house at every ballpark. All commercial-free.
Can you believe it?
MLB Network Strike Zone. Wednesdays and Fridays, all season long. This is Bo Bichette. This is Christopher Russo. And this is the High Heat Hot Seat. Bo Bichette plays hard, so he doesn't end up here. High Heat with Christopher Russo, helping players play harder on MLB Network.
Hi, I'm J.P. Crawford, shortstop with the Seattle Mariners.
J.P. Crawford flexes his muscles.
I love my experience competing in the pitch, hit, and run when I was a kid. It helped me believe in my skills as a player.
The 1-2 on the way to J.P. And the Mariners win it!
Go show yourself what you're made of and make your way to the national finals at the World Series. Sign up for a free competition near you at pitchhitandrun.com.
Angels baseball on Valley Sports brought to you by Nissan. At Nissan, we make cars that thrill. Experience the thrill for yourself today. Shop NissanUSA.com. By Jack in the Box, introducing Snoop's Munchie Meal, available for a limited time only at Jack in the Box. And by Spectrum One, Internet Advanced Wi-Fi Mobile for just $49.99 a month. Visit Spectrum.com. Chase Silseth had a special day here. He struck out everybody in the Mariner lineup at least once. He fanned 12 hitters in 7 innings through 100 pitches. He allowed a couple of solo homers, but the Angels have only managed 1 run. Now they need to find some support to get Silseth off the hook.
Yeah, you got to get an opportunity to be able to get off the hook and maybe even pick up a win here. I mean, he was that good there today. He's 3 great games in a row against 3 teams that are well above 500, and he's pitched excellent.
Now Trent Thornton, who has pitched in just 1 game for the Mariners, will get the call here in the bottom of the 7th. Acquired recently from the Blue Jays, a team that he made 29 starts for a few years ago. Thornton now out of the bullpen for the Mariners. Will face Moniak, Renfroe, and Theis here in the bottom of the 7th.
Yeah, fastball's 91-96. He'll throw a cutter. That's pretty good depth on his cutter. Curveball, slider, changeup.
12 strikeouts from Chase Silseth today. That's just 1 off the most in a game by an Angel this year. Moniak cuts through that, and Silseth really trying to lock down that he should be a regular member of this rotation moving forward.
Oh, with those 3 straight games like that, there's no question he deserves to be in there.
Moniak hits one the other way softly. Suarez able to get it. It's hit right to him, and there's 1 away here in the bottom of the 7th. Well, the Angels have been shut down here. Only 1 base runner over the last handful of innings. Here's Renfroe after a quick word from Hyundai.
Get away with a great deal only at the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event.
Mariner pitchers have set down 11 in a row. Only 2 Angels have reached base since they scored a run in the bottom of the 1st.
Back-to-back sweepers in the middle part of the plate. This is an off-speed pitch, though.
Matt Moore getting ready for the 8th inning. Ground ball hit softly up the middle. Rojas waits back and takes care of it. "12 in a row retired by Mariner pitching. And this is not their frontline relievers doing it either. Isaiah Campbell worked a 1-2-3-6, and Trent Thornton has gotten the first 2 outs of the 7th. This is a good bullpen, but these are the guys they don't even rely on very much. Breezing through here. A strike to Matt Thaiss.
I think Matt Thaiss has been really questioning a lot of those high pitches called for strikes. It looked like it did get the upper part of the strike zone, though.
Here's a high fly ball from Thaiss. Way back. This one will tie it up. He gets Silseth off the hook with a long home run, and it's 2-2.
Boy, got another sweeper. That time it's in the middle of the plate. Matt Thaiss, 7th home run. It's our Arco top tier play. Matt Thaiss, baby, ties it up at 2. What a swing, the leverage and the lift on that one. Exit velocity of 104.1. Tie ball game.
Well, leave it to the catcher. The guy that has caught all of these Chase Silseth strikeouts today, that helped Silseth through 7 innings. It's Matt Thaiss with the big blow. So Silseth will not be on the losing end today, and maybe the Angels won't be either. It's tied up. C.J. Cron is pinch hitting for Escobar. Cron will stay in to play first base, and Mike Moustakas will return to third base.
What a way to pick up your battery mate there.
Absolutely. That's what the Angels needed. Needed to get Silseth at least a run here. Make sure he doesn't end up on the losing side. He was too good to lose this one. 2 balls and a strike on Cron, who has plenty of power himself.
More likely we'll see a slider or sweeper here.
Three balls and a strike with Renifo behind Cron. C.J. Cron hasn't hit one yet since returning to the Angels. See what he can do here. Takes a breaking ball that lands right in the middle of the plate. It's 3-2. Swing and a miss. Cron strikes out as a pinch hitter, but Matt Thaiss ties it up. A long home run. Thaiss earns the caboodle on a game-tying shot. It's 2-2.
What makes baseball even better? Shohei, more action? How about more steals, Acuna? More hits? Nestor? Okay, Mookie, more hits? What if the games are just quicker?
Just a bit outside.
The game has changed, and fans are saying, oh, yeah.
I'ma do what? That's on me. I'm a young boy, but I'll keep it OG. No, you can't shine if you stay low key. That's on me, on me, on me. I'ma do what? That's on me. I'm a young boy, but I'll keep it OG. No, you can't shine if you stay low key. That's on me, on me, on me. Don't want that stuff, but that's on me. Built the house, I got the keys. They say you can't shine if you stay low key. That's on me, on me.
Watch games and coverage all day, every day, your way on MLB Network.
Jr., the El Diablo Burger is back. Consider yourself warned by California Community College. Enroll today at icangotocollege.com. And by Indeed, the world can work better. Angels have tied it up. Now Matt Moore will try to keep it that way.
Been very, very good. A whip of 0.89. Opponent's batting average is 171. Although his fastball, he still got up there 93, 95. Very good knuckle curve, and his changeup is excellent.
Excellent work today from Chase Silseth. Struck out 12 Mariners over 7 innings. Longest outing of his major league career, the most strikeouts. And it's a no decision. The Angels able to sew it up in the bottom of the 7th with Matt Theis's home run. Now Crawford, who homered earlier, leads off here in the 8th. Rodriguez and Suarez behind him against Moore.
There's this tough out here, J.P. Crawford. Big batter here for Matt Moore.
Two balls and 1 strike on J.P. Crawford. Not too many teams can have one guy who went to high school from New Mexico and hand the ball off to another, but that's what the Angels have done here as Moore gets Crawford to pop out to Moniak in left center field. Chase Silseth out of Piedra Vista High School in Farmington, New Mexico, and Chase Silseth out of, that's where Silseth went. Matt Moore out of high school in New Mexico as well. Moriarty High School where he went. Rodriguez with a liner, and that falls for a base hit. Now you got to pay attention to the steal. Julio with his great speed at first.
What a series Julio Rodriguez has had. Matt Moore with 7 career pickoffs. He allowed 53 stolen bases and 16 base stealers have been caught in his long career. Does a good job. You see how he lifts that front leg up as a base stealer. You don't know if he's going to first or if he's going home. If you keep that close enough to the pitching rubber, you can freeze the runner.
Matt Moore has adjusted to life in the bullpen just fine. A longtime starter. Huge prospect when he was coming up through the Tampa Bay Rays system.
Slide step. Remember, he was brought in there some tough situations right away with the Rays postseason. Go get him.
He had 3 big league appearances. He was put on the playoff roster for the Rays in 2011 and even started a game in that postseason. And he pitched well. He gave up 1 run in 10 innings in the playoffs in his 4th and 5th big league appearances. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Eugenio Suarez. Moore spent a little bit of time with the Giants as well. We'll see them tomorrow. Rodriguez is running. Pitch is in there for strike 3, and the throw to second is not in time. So Rodriguez steals a base, but Suarez strikes out. So there's 2 down, and now Rodriguez with the go-ahead run in scoring position.
27 stolen base going on first move. There's no chance at all as a catcher to throw him out. Once you guess right,
here's Cal Raleigh batting right-handed against the lefty Moore. Swing and a miss. Raleigh is a better hitter from the left side. He has 18 homers this year. 16 of them have been from the left side of the plate. Only 2 home runs right-handed, although 1 in this series against Aaron Loop. Base hit is all it would take with Rodriguez at second to give Seattle the lead again. Matt Moore trying to work around it. 0-2 on Cal Raleigh.
Good sequence so far. First pitch good. Arm action on his changeup. Then he goes a 4-seam fastball.
And this crowd, a lot of them sitting in the back rows to be in the shade today on a warm day in Southern California. Getting into it as Moore looks to second base.
The reason why he did that, I think he wanted to go through a new series of signs. Wasn't comfortable with that pitch they just put down. So you do that every once in a while as a pitcher.
Swing and a miss. Raleigh strikes out. Matt Moore gets him with the changeup. Back-to-back strikeouts after the Rodriguez hit, and it's still tied.
Never be afraid of your strength, because your body is capable of amazing things. The one they said you shouldn't have, the one driven by a power they can't see. Own your strength and see how far it takes you. Tono, be your strongest.
Sure, you'll teach her how to drive a car. Then use Greenlight to power her independence with crash detection with 911 dispatch, family location sharing, and emergency SOS alerts. Invest in your best investment with Greenlight.
With the Game Time app, I paid 60% less than this guy. What? And it's not just sports tickets. It's also concerts. Performances, too!
Oh, come on!
Download Game Time. Last-minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed.
Navigator coming up. The Angels trying to pull off a win in this series. A lot of close games here between the Angels and the Mariners. Seattle has won the first 3. Big 9th inning comeback for the Mariners on Thursday. A back and forth game on Friday that the Angels couldn't get over the hump on. Last night it looked like the Angels were going to pull it off in the bottom of the 9th, but a lucky bounce for Seattle helped the Mariners hold on. And today it's been tied throughout, a well-pitched game. The Angels have struck out 14 Mariners, 12 from Chase Silseth. They'll have the top of their order due up here against Justin Topa, the right-hander for the Mariners.
Yeah, his fastball, good sink action to it, 93-97. Throw a slider, cutter, and changeup.
Seattle's bullpen has the second best ERA in the majors, and they've given up the second fewest home runs.
Ooh, that was a pitch to do that damage on a home run swing there from Rengifo.
Matt Thaiss hit one out earlier against a Mariner reliever that tied the game off Trent Thornton. Now Topo's only allowed 2 homers this year. Faces Rengifo, then Shohei, then Brandon Drury.
Ooh, Shohei, watch out.
Hot off the bat of Rengifo toward the on-deck circle. Ifo strikes out. That cutter really got in on his hands. 1 out.
Well, he started that on the inside corner and ended up off the plate.
Well, we know what this crowd wants to see.
Nine first pitch home runs this season for Shohei.
He's at 40. He's backed away with ball 1. It's a decent crowd here at Angel Stadium today for this Sunday afternoon. It's hard to tell because on the lower bowl, all of the shaded rows are completely full. 2 balls and no strikes.
If there was another ball out of zone, they'd probably just put him on.
One lands, and it's 2 balls and a strike on Shohei.
So far today, Shohei's had a tough time with sliders.
It's 3-1. They do put Shohei on. There's a stolen base threat there. He has stolen 14 bases. He represents the go-ahead run at the plate. Carlos Estevez throwing in the Angel bullpen. Try to put the nightmare of Thursday night behind him and go back out and get the job done today. The Mariners want to discuss strategy before this 3-1 pitch. We'll pause for Jack in the Box.
Yo, Jack, that a baked brownie in my munchie meal?
You know it, Snoop.
Say less.
There's Captain Kabuto. Ohtani rolls one to the right side, handled by Rojas, ranging over to get the out.
Give him a changeup. Wasn't going to give in. It made him expand the zone a little off the plate. And he rolled over on that 3-1 pitch. Drury with some good power himself, especially to right center. There's been many baseballs he's hit that way in a while. If you went over the plate and drive it the way that baseball will carry today.
There's a fly ball from Drury, pretty well struck, right center field. Rodriguez at the wall makes the catch. Drury gave it a ride, but Julio Rodriguez able to track it down. This game remains tied to the 9th.
We love going to games, but good seats get pricey. So we use Game Time. Game Time checks ticket prices in real time and finds you all the best last-minute deals. We got our seats 20 minutes ago for 60% off. Last-minute tickets at the best price in seconds. Download Game Time now.
ED is difficult for me and for my partner. Through HIMS, I can message a licensed provider about clinically proven ED treatments. Like the generic form of Viagra, which can cost 90% less than the brand name version. Then HIMS ships discreetly to my door for free. I never knew it could be this easy to get my confidence back. Now we can both count on a great experience every time. Start your free visit today at forhims.com.
They said optical shops weren't very inviting. So we, Warby Parker, created ones that were. They said prescription eyewear was too expensive, so we offered more affordable glasses, contacts, and eye exams. They said opticians weren't always friendly. So we hired only the friendliest and the most knowledgeable. And finally, they said the whole experience was just kind of unpleasant. So we set out to change that too. Visit a Warby Parker store and see for yourself.
Wherever they go for only $34.99. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Sale ends August 6th. That's today. Visit MLB.tv for details. Angels and the Mariners even through 8. Carlos Estevez coming off his worst outing of the season on Thursday. Will try to keep it all knotted up here in the top of the 9th inning as the Angels try to avoid being swept in a series where they have been outscored only by a total of 5 runs. 2 on Thursday, 2 Friday, and 1 yesterday. Tied through 8 innings today. These close games have gone the Mariners' way, as they did for a couple of years. Seattle was winning a lot of games late, a lot of close games, and helped them get to the playoffs last year. And as the Mariners have made a strong push over the last month or so, back to their old tricks. And here's Dominic Canzone to lead off the top of the 9th. The Mariners have struck out 14 times today, 12 of those coming from Silseth. 4 different Angel pitchers have recorded 12 strikeouts in a game this year. Swing and a miss by Canzone. Shohei, Detmers, Canning, and now Silseth have all had separate 12 strikeout games. So much tantalizing talent on this Angels pitching staff. And it has been a big reason why they have not been able to pull away and get more victories. The pitching has not been consistent enough.
Well, if you're going to go on a stretch where you win a bunch of games in a row, it's going to have to start with the staff, and it started here today. Nice job by Tyler Anderson yesterday also.
Hifo tracking this pop up, and he's got it to retire Canzone. 1 away. Teoscar Hernandez has a home run and a double in this game. He has swung the bat well in this series. 0-1 from Carlos Estevez. Hernandez had 3 hits in the game Friday. Always a lot of power in the bat of Teoscar Hernandez. And that goes for the guy on deck too, Mike Ford.
And after there with a 96-mile-an-hour fastball.
There's a line drive base hit for Hernandez. Slider stayed out over the plate, and Hernandez has his 3rd hit today. So the go-ahead run is on, and Mike Ford is due up.
I wonder if they would think about a pinch runner.
It looks like they will bring in one. Jose Caballero will run for Hernandez.
Caballero can fly. He's got a huge lead already.
He certainly does. Estevez peering over his shoulder as Ford nicks one foul with a check swing. Caballero has 19 stolen bases. He's only been caught twice.
Bryce has thrown out 20% of base stealers coming into the game. This will be a test here.
That's been about league average, 20% with the new rules. Caballero with a big lead again. Ford trying to hold his swing, and he did. 1 ball, 1 strike.
And the key is right now, especially for Carlos Estevez, is get to the stretch position early enough that you can hold that baseball all the way down and get close to that pitch timer at about 1 or 2 seconds before you throw the ball. You can stop Caballero getting a big lead and make him stop before going.
Bryce goes out. Long conversation between Theis and Estevez as they try to get on the same page here. Carlos Estevez enjoyed his time in Seattle a few weeks ago at the All-Star game. He was electric in a scoreless inning pitching for the American League All-Stars.
It's definitely a count where you're going to be on the move here now.
It's 1 ball, 1 strike on Ford. There goes Caballero. Ford swings and misses. Throw to second. Airmailed into center field. And now
they're bringing him back. They might call him out.
Oh, plate umpire.
Interference.
Junior Valentine. And he will send the runner back to first due to interference by Ford.
That was huge. See on the follow through with the bat as it made contact there exactly on the follow through of the bat.
And it was because of it was the backswing. Had Ford used his body to get in the way of the throw, then there would have been an out. But because it was just on the backswing, the runner gets sent back to first. So the count goes to 1 ball, 2 strikes in the meantime. And that just missed.
It's a pretty good pitch.
2 balls and 2 strikes on Ford. He's 0 for 3. Marlowe on deck.
A little bit of a quick pitch that was for Estevez.
Throw to first. Caballero had been leaning a bit, but able to get back in plenty of time. Estevez said the biggest thing he learned at the All-Star game from guys like Kenley Jansen was how to bounce back after a tough game. That's what he's trying to do today. He just can't get that outside corner. Back-to-back pitches that were close but not called a strike.
See where these pitches are, just a little bit off the plate. Definitely the right call. Definitely going here. Chance to strike him out, throw him out.
Now 3-2. Ford will strike out quite often. Throw to first, close play, safe.
Crone's looking in there quickly. We'll take a look at that one. He's definitely was going and leaning. Ooh, that is real close.
I'm surprised the Angels didn't want to take a look.
Always go to that back part of the base. Might have got that hand in there just before the tag.
So it's still 3 balls, 2 strikes on Ford.
Had to throw home here.
Runner goes, ball 4 to Ford.
So a couple borderline pitches going against Carlos Estevez. Nearly a pickoff, and now Marlowe coming to plate against Carlos Estevez again.
It was Cade Marlowe on Thursday night on an 0-2 pitch that lifted out a grand slam to right field.
Another base runner now. More in the game.
Dylan Moore running for Ford at first. Good speed at both bases for Seattle. With the Angels ahead, Carlos Estevez's first blown save of the year. Hoping that ball would stay in, but it did not. Cade Marlowe, his second major league home run, a grand slam. Lift the Mariners to a comeback win the other day. Marlowe, a 20th round draft pick in 2019. Swings and misses on the first pitch from Estevez. Angels in the bottom of the 9th will have Moustakas, Grichuk, and Moniak. We'll see what the situation is. Right now it's still tied. The Mariners threatening in the top of the 9th.
There your look back to second base also. What I mean by that is, one time you look, Javier back with one look. Next time, two. Just vary that look. Not allowed to get a running start, especially with Moustakas so far off a third.
Check swing foul, and it's 0-2 again. That was the count when Marlowe hit the grand slam on Thursday. One in the dirt. Handled by Theis. Caballero getting a pretty big lead off of second base.
I think just looking back like he did, Stavas, he saw him there and he kind of rushed his delivery more. That front shoulder was a little quicker than normal.
Popped up toward the left field line. Moustakas is over, backpedaling, makes the catch.
Nice job by Stavas to get over there to third base, too. Nice play by Moustakas. So it's going to be a pinch hitter and Ty France coming up.
So Estevez solves Marlowe this time, and now he'll have to deal with Ty France, who comes off the bench to bat for Josh Rojas. Mariners will reconfigure their infield with Dylan Moore playing second base and France playing first in the bottom of the ninth. We'll see if it is still tied. Estevez still has one more big out to get. France had an RBI single late in the game yesterday to help the Mariners tack on an insurance run that they would need. He had a 3-run homer in the game on Friday. Estevez has allowed a base hit and a walk. He's gotten a couple of pop outs. Mariners have left-hander Taylor Saucedo warming up in their bullpen. Looks like he would pitch the bottom of the ninth either way. Ball one to Ty France. Always a dangerous hitter with men in scoring position.
Right now, your focus, if you're Estevez, is strictly the batter right here.
Swing and a miss, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike. Two balls, 1 strike on France. That's in for a strike.
It took a little bit of time. Went a little Tim McClellan on. Once while Tim McClellan would take, great umpire he was, take a little bit of time to call that strike because everyone's holding their breath.
Now 2-2. France doesn't strike out a ton, but he will from time to time. He pops it up. Drury goes out. He's under it. He's got it. Carlos Estevez dances around some trouble, but a 0 in the top of the ninth, and it's still tied.
Imagine an entire channel dedicated to taking you to the most exciting moments in baseball as they happen.
And it's gone!
With live look-ins to clutch at-bats.
A walk-off slam!
And players on the edge of making history.
This could be it! 62!
It's the best seat in the house at every ballpark. All commercial-free.
Can you believe it?
MLB Network Strike Zone. Wednesdays and Fridays, all season long. It's the Modern Baseball Show for the modern baseball fan. Off Base, with interviews and coverage of baseball's hottest stars.
I've done a couple interviews in my life. This probably is the most fun I've ever been a part of.
Only on MLB Network.
Baseball is, we always say, it's a game of inches against Cade Marlowe. A couple days ago, Estevez on an 0-2 pitch, tried to go upstairs with a fastball. It's 100. It's at the top of the zone, but this time, today, Marlowe 98, but it's above the strike zone. He's just underneath and he pops it up. The other one, able to get the barrel through and hits it out for a grand slam. Just that slight variation of location of that fastball, just above the zone, got the pop up instead of the squared up on the barrel. Even though it was harder at 100, just a couple days ago, that one at 98, but it was above the zone and he popped it up.
It's exactly what Estevez was talking about coming back from the All-Star game. He said if Kenley Jansen can give up some runs and teach you how to get back to the next outing and put up a 0, if he can do that, well, that just goes to show anybody can do it. Kenley Jansen, one of the great closers of all time. It's not always going to be perfect. You're going to have to get back on the horse and put up a 0 the next time you go out.
Good said, it's just like a kicker in the NFL. If you miss a field goal, you better get right back out there. Nobody notices you unless you miss or blow out a save opportunity.
Mike Moustakas with a high fly ball. That's deep to the right field corner. Canzone is back at the wall, reaches up and makes the catch right in front of the fence. And that short wall in right field.
Yeah, he got back to the wall, probably didn't have to jump for that ball, but that ball had some carry to it. And you wanted Moustakas up there in that spot. He almost walked it off. Inside part, got the hands going, just a little underneath it. You never know in that wall, as we all know back in 2002.
That ball just straightened out a little bit too much. Had that continued to the corner, that probably gets out. That wall curves to the right field corner. Saucedo falls behind Randall Grichuk 2-0, and this is where Grichuk thrives. He has obliterated left-handed pitching this year. Fouls this one off his foot, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike.
Saucedo's not overpowering. 91, 95, a slider will throw a lot of them, a changeup too, and curveball.
Grichuk has a 1066 OPS against lefties. It's basically the same OPS that Shohei has overall. He lines this one to right center field, but it hangs up, and there is Canzone again. 2 up, 2 down. Here's Moniak. He's never homered off a lefty in the big leagues. Maybe today's the day. Saucedo, another Mariner pitcher that keeps the ball in the ballpark usually. Delivers ball 1 to Moniak.
Moniak has been very clutch. Wearing that Angel uniform. That was a pitch right there to do some damage. That's a hanging slider. Going back to Hyundai Key for the game. Dust in the wind. That was one of those pitches that almost got it and drove it out. Moustakas, oh, so close to walking it off.
Angels have Jaime Barria up in the bullpen. He'll pitch in the 10th inning with the ghost runner out there at second base if the Angels can't come through here in the bottom of the 9th. Macedo gets the strikeout. And this game goes to extras.
Imagine an entire channel dedicated to taking you to the most exciting moments in baseball as they happen.
And it's gone!
With live look-ins to clutch at bats.
A walk-off slam!
And players on the edge of making history.
This could be it! 62!
It's the best seat in the house at every ballpark. All commercial-free.
Can you believe it?
MLB Network Strike Zone. Wednesdays and Fridays, all season long.
Day behind Lucas Giolito's short start, ended up going 4 1/3 innings. Angels won't need him for that long today, but they'll need him in a much higher leverage situation here as he gets the ball in the top of the 10th.
This is always a tough one for Jaime Barria because he's more of a pitch to contact guy, not a big strikeout guy. So with a man on second to start with, just even a ground ball out can move him over to third base. Been throwing them when he out of the bullpen though. His slider's been really good. Fastball 92-95 and his changeup, but it's a tough spot for him. And Ty France could be at second base. JB Crawford leading off the inning.
Ty France acts as the ghost runner. Somebody told me earlier they prefer zombie runner. I'm fine with that. Home run, at least the ball that Moustakas hit that looked like could have been a home run would have been in 26 out of 30 ballparks. It's caught at the wall by Canzone in the bottom of the 9th inning. 0-1 from Jaime Barria. It's the top of the order for the Mariners. Crawford, Rodriguez, and Suarez. Angels will have Renfroe, Theis, and Crone due up in the bottom of the 10th. Ty France is the man at second. The Angels don't have Ronaldo Lopez today. He went on the bereavement list this morning. There's a strike and a good pitch from Barria. Crawford didn't like the call.
Might have got a break on that one.
Crawford homered on the first pitch of this game. The two Mariner runs coming on solo homers, Crawford and Hernandez. Angels got one in the first on an RBI double from Moustakas and a home run from Matt Theis. It's 2-2 on Crawford. Both teams scoring in the first and then in the 7th, and that's been it. And the Angels have played well in extra inning games this year. They have won each of their last 5 in a row in extra innings. Longest extra inning winning streak for the Angels in over a decade. Swing and a miss. Crawford strikes out.
Just a great pitch, a huge out there because you get the out and you don't have France advance. Yeah, there's the spot right now, especially the way Rodriguez is swinging the bat. He's not even going to get a chance to even get near the batter's box.
Intentional walk for Julio Rodriguez. That'll bring up Eugenio Suarez, who A, strikes out a lot, and B, hits into a large number of double plays as well. into 7 this year. Double play opportunity is there with the intentional walk to Rodriguez. France still at second base and now 1 out here in the 10th. Swing and a miss by Suarez. Good slider again from Barria. When he has that slider working, it's a game changer for Jaime Barria.
And it's been really, really effective, even against lefties. We saw that against Crawford. Very effective against right-handed batters.
Didn't get the call on the inside corner there, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike on Suarez. 0 for 4 today. Was hitless yesterday when he saw his 10-game RBI streak come to an end. Cuts through that slider, and it's 1-2.
Try to sneak a fastball upstairs. I don't know if you need to set him up when you have that slider going. You have a swing like that. You got to try to finish him off right there. Now he's definitely looking slider. So you got to be right on that right side of the infield, and also if you're Hunter Renfroe out in right field.
On 2-2, Suarez fouls it off. Got just a piece. Maria struck out J.P. Crawford, the only batter he's faced in this inning. The other 2 have been placed on base. 1 by the commissioner and 1 by Phil Nevin with an intentional walk. Now it's 3-2 on Suarez. Not biting at those high fastballs.
Again, you have him going after sliders. You don't need a setup.
Cal Raleigh on deck. Feels like the guy you gotta get. Suarez with all those strikeouts. It's 3-2. And he lines one to left field. That's a base hit to give the Mariners the lead. Rodriguez on his way to third. He'll make it. Oh,
he's out.
Came off the bag. He's out.
Yeah, he definitely came off the base on that one. They can look at that one. They're going to check it, but I thought he went off the base if he had the tag still on him. Matter if he kept that on the hip the whole time.
It's unclear that he came off.
Challenging the out call at third base.
He kind of tripped over the leg of Moustakas and stumbled. I don't know if he fully came off the base, though. Doesn't look like that he did.
And the umpire's right there with a perfect view if there's any kind of separation.
Trip over the leg of Moustakas, but that left foot kind of dragging along on the base. Kind of does reach back. It's hard to tell. The call on the field is that he's out. That's important because there has to be enough evidence to overturn it.
You can live with if you just only give up, somehow get through this. There's only 1 run allowed here.
This is a huge play. You can live with 1 run here because you get the automatic runner at second yourself. It's much harder to deal with 2.
After review, call on the field stands. The runner is out. Seattle loses their challenge.
Tough to tell either way, and usually in that case the call stands. That's what happened, and a big out at third.
That's a huge out. Huge out.
So now 2 away and a man on first. And the Angels will have Mickey Moniak at second base to start the bottom of the 10th. And then behind him, Renfroe, Theis, and Crone. There's Cal Raleigh. He'll have to get through one more out. And Raleigh from his better side of the plate here, hitting left-handed. Most home runs by any catcher in the majors over the last 2 seasons. Cal Raleigh has hit 44 in the last 2 years. He looks at a strike here.
He's trying to turn that changeup over a little too much.
2 balls and a strike on Cal Raleigh. This game starting with a pitcher's duel between 2 rookies, Bryce Miller and Chase Silseth. Miller struck out 10, Silseth 12. Line to first, right at C.J. Crone to win the inning. And the Angels will have the tying run at second to start the bottom of the 10th.
Wake up to baseball's biggest stories.
Robert Flores wearing tweed.
Wake up to big-name guests.
Very special guests hanging out on the crushed red velvet.
This show is tough to get ready for.
And wake up to a whole lot of fun.
Wearing a robe holding a wooden phone.
MLB Central.
It is absolutely hilarious.
The show baseball fans and baseball players wake up to.
The show's starting to pick up.
I love the energy. I love the unexpected performances.
Weekday mornings on MLB Network.
We'll have a little fun and we'll laugh.
Hi, I'm J.P. Crawford, shortstop with the Seattle Mariners.
J.P. Crawford flexes his muscles.
I love my experience competing in the pitch, hit, and run when I was a kid. It helped me believe in my skills as a player.
The 1-2 on the way to J.P. And the Mariners win it!
Go show yourself what you're made of and make your way to the national finals at the World Series. Sign up for a free competition near you at pitchhitandrun.com.
Hey kids, join MLB Network and your favorite players for a show made just for you. Play ball. It's all the big moments, bat flips, and amazing plays from an exciting week of baseball and tips to up your game on MLB Network.
Think baseball.
There's something that's been missing in the debate.
Think analysis.
We really look like the perfect thing to add to this club last night.
Think advanced metrics.
The new rules are having an impact, and I'll bottom line it.
Think MLB Now, the show for the thinking fan, only on MLB Network.
Find a way to get out your nervous energy. Clean up the dugout.
Shohei's always the courteous one. Cleaning up that dugout. Setting it up just in case there's a chance to run out on the field and celebrate. It's a clear path to run on the field. Thanks to Shohei.
Taylor Saucedo worked a 1-2-3 bottom of the 9th inning. The Angels have only had 1 base runner since the 3rd. But they will get a base runner placed at second base. Mickey Moniak will take the tying run out there with him. It is now a 3-2 game. And Hunter Renfroe will lead off here in the 10th inning. Each of the 2 rookie starters getting 10 strikeouts or more apiece. It had not happened in a major league game since 1906. There's Jack Combs and Joe Harris in a 24-inning game. They both pitched complete games. They both passed 10 strikeouts. That was the last time 2 rookie starters did that in the same game. Thanks to Sarah Langs from MLB.com for that.
Well, he's going to stay away against Hunter Renfroe. He's got to think, I got to go the other way. You can't try to pull that one. You just got to stay short and punch the ball at the very least to the right side of the infield with a ground ball.
Renfroe struck out with the game on the line yesterday to end the game.
He's going away again.
Time Renfroe takes, and it's 1-2.
He's going to stay away against Hunter Renfroe. And Hunter Renfroe, when he was on that good stretch on this last road trip, hit the ball real hard the other way.
Matt Theis is due up next, but it looks like Wallach will bat instead. Renfroe with a little bouncer foul. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Well, he's tracking that baseball away right now.
Fouled off, and Renfroe stays in there. So Sato worked a 1-2-3 bottom of the 9th inning. And gave up a long fly out to Mike Moustakas to start the inning. Mariners cashed in their zombie runner in the top of the 10th. The Angels trying to do at least that here in the home half. On 2-2, Hunter Renfroe takes strike 3.
That might have been off the plate a little bit, but close enough that you're going to have to try to go after it. See if it gets that outside corner. No, it doesn't. Just off the plate, call it a strike. It's been that way all day for Junior Valentine behind the plate. Definitely not a strike.
1 out now. Wallach bats for Theis. Theis with the home run in the 7th, the only Angel hit since the 3rd. Base hit here would tie the game up. Moniak has very good speed at second. All 1 to Wallach. Seen Wallach a lot on sliders over the plate. He'll yank it into left field for a base hit. Takes that one over the outer edge, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike on Wallach.
Yeah, a lot of batters having a tough time with the strike zone today.
Mariners have a righty up in their bullpen, Devin Sweet. See if they use him to face Crone, who's on deck. It's 2 balls and a strike on Wallach. If Wallach gets on, he can't really run for him because he's the only other catcher now that Theis is out of the game. I mean, that's
way off the plate. I mean, that's about a baseball and a half off the outside corner.
So a slider that starts way off the plate. Now 2-2. Wallach lifts a fly ball off the end of his bat.
You have to swing at it when you have pitches like that called.
Now 2 outs, and it's up to Crone. Angels were down to their final out yesterday and almost pulled off the comeback. Looked like they were about to. Ball Brandon Drury hit to left. That got by Dylan Moore, but bounced over the fence in left field for an automatic double. The Angels had 4 straight base runners with 2 out in the bottom of the 9th yesterday. Now 2 outs in the 10th inning. They need at least base hit here to tie this game, or they will be swept at home in a 4-game series by the Mariners for the first time in 18 years. Strike 1 to C.J. Crone.
I imagine he's going to try to do that backdoor slider right now.
Might as well. Unable to stay alive. Junior Valentine has called the high strike all day, and here in the 10th inning, he's decided to add several inches to the outside corner. And that's the ball game. The Angels are swept by the Mariners in a 4-game series.
Being able to advance that runner from second.
Only 1 hit from the Angel offense after the 3rd inning today. And 4 back-breaking games against the Mariners this weekend. For Mark Gubicza and Carlin Baith, our entire crew, I'm Wayne Randazzo. We say goodbye from Angel Stadium. 3-2 in 10 innings the final. Angel Live postgame is next.